Columbus.
Joe, that ain't good enough. Come on, Joe.
Wait, no. Not this one.
Frizzle left tight, F fly, pass 37 punch, waggle, help, baby dizzy, X fan on the turbo.
Thank you, baby.
Football, man.
It's time to listen to a bald, fat loudmouth.
Mr. T-Bone.
And a former football player.
And that ball intercepted by Tyvis, pal.
Wow, no radio station has ever done that before.
Did it work for those people?
No, it never does. But it might work for us.
Welcome to T-Bone and Tyvis.
We got you right here on T-Bone and Tyvis. I'm Matt Fontana filling in for T-Bone. He is Tyvis, pal. I kind of don't fit that intro. At least I have hair, Tyvis. I got kids. The weight is kind of there, but I don't know if I'd say I'm fat. So I kind of fit in. I did not play football near the level that you did, so that intro not kind of fitting with people this morning, but I can't tell you how happy I am to be here with this week, man, and to be joining everybody for the morning commute here in Columbus. How you doing, Tyvis?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Listen, I'm fighting the demons, okay? Because, listen, they put me across from T-Bone, and I have to look at him, and they say I am looking into the future, and I'm fighting it because he's bald and he's bigger. Yeah. I'm not going to use the F word on him. I'm going to say he's just a bigger human being than me. And they're saying that, ever since I retired from football, I've been gaining weight. I got kids as well, two daughters, and they like to snack on things. And it's very hard as a father to not take that like a bite of that snack while you give it to them. So yeah, I've been gaining weight, and I gotta fix it though, because I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, hold that off as long as you can. We don't want to have to make a new intro. Show is as new as it is, so let's keep that for what it is, and we'll make sure that T-Bone kind of holds up his side of things. Tyvis holds up his side, but I slide on in and so happy to be with everybody this morning right here on 97.1 The Fan. So we're talking about responsibility there a little bit, right, where you sit there and you say, I have this responsibility to do this and fill in here. And Tyvis, we start this morning with more conversation surrounding the college football expansion and basically now the responsibility that the Big Ten and the SEC have, I don't even want to say taken on, it's just kind of been given to them. And this starts with Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark, who was in discussion about what's going on, and he had meetings on Friday and had some quotes come out on Friday talking about the great responsibility now that the Big Ten and the SEC have in leading these discussions about where college football is going to go. We know the expanded format, that 16-team playoff. There's so much conversation now about these automatic qualifiers and who's getting these pieces of this pie. And I think it's got to be hard for the ACC and the Big 12 to sit there and know, hey, we're not the Big Ten. We're not the SEC, and there might even be some people out there that feel like the Big Ten isn't even on the level of the SEC, which I don't buy that.
That's blasphemy.
Yeah, I'm with you, man, and that's where these two are going to drive this. But what Yormark is talking about with the Big 12, he's right. Like, you're almost sitting there saying, well, I hope you don't forget about us, or I hope you give us the piece of the pie. Like, throw some scraps at the end of the table here, man.
Well, I mean, obviously, both conferences, the Big Ten and the SEC, they're going to do everything they can to, put their conference in a better light because they understand that they're dominant right now. I mean, look at the last 2 national championships and then think of the last, 10 national champions. I know a lot of them came from the SEC. It was a point in time where they were running the thing. The only team that's really can have a big say in it is Clemson, because Clemson, they did win a couple of championships in the past decade. So that's a team that's absolutely in there. But I think that when you look at it, the Big Ten and the SEC needs to get this right, And I think that it's crazy because last week, for the majority of the time, we always thought it was the SEC and the Big Ten wanted 4 automatic bids. They wanted 4 teams to get in. And then obviously last week, the SEC comes out and says, we're good with 5 plus 11 model. And I'm like, okay, if they want to go that route, that's considered fair. If you want to look out for the rest of the conferences, that's considered the fair way to do it, because now now teams aren't thinking about biases. Like, okay, if the SEC and the Big Ten gets 8 teams in and there's only 8 left, now we all fighting for 8 spots. No, you're opening up 3 more spots, that anybody can fight for. So I think that to me, honestly, if you want to be fair, I like the 5+11 model. I think that's the right way to do it. But I also understand that this thing is about the almighty dollar, and you can sell. The Big Ten wants to sell that, that matchup of 1 and 2, then 3 versus 6, and 4 versus 5, which a lot of people will tune in, and that would make a lot more money. So to me, it'll be interesting to see what goes on.
It's funny. Greg Sankey is the SEC commissioner. I thought he was kind of like dipping his toe in the water about how SEC fans would react if he, like you're talking about, Tyvis, which you're right, the 5 automatic qualifiers, the 11 at large. The reason I talk about him dipping his toe in the water was Alabama. Does he have to sit up there and every single time he talks and every single time that this comes up, he's got to fight for more automatic qualifiers because Alabama got left out of the party a year ago? Mm-hmm. What I actually think started coming out was people were saying, yeah, go look at the 2 teams that Alabama lost to. Go look at that 500 Vanderbilt team. You want to know why they didn't make it? Go look at that. They had every single power in their own hands to win and to make it in. So that's where even I think the SEC and the Big Ten have to realize, as long as our teams take care of business like the Ohio State Buckeyes, you will make it. And the thing is, we all know that the biases that are there, they're almost like automatic qualifiers, where I would imagine if they pick the 5 automatic qualifiers of the 11 at large, Tyvis, we're not going to ever have only 2 Big Ten teams. There will be, I feel pretty confident saying when they go to 16, forever, there will be a minimum of 3, probably 4 Big Ten teams without the automatic qualifiers. We all know what it is.
I agree. I said last week, I was like, we should be sitting in a spot. The Big Ten is in a spot right now where if the Wolverines get their stuff back together, them, Ohio State, and Penn State, that's 3 right there that should be. There's no reason for those 3 not to make it every single year. And then you give chances for like the Iowas or the Wisconsins if they figure things out. USC or Oregon, like those teams right there should make it every year. So for me, the only thing I will say is if you do the 5+11 model, we're not going to be naive to think that the SEC don't get biases, because they do. They'll say a 8-3 team or a 9-3 team is better than the Big Ten's 12 or 11-1 or 10-2 team, and I'll be looking at that like that's kind of crazy to think. And I also think that the SEC is not as dominant as it once was. This conversation is happening right at the time where it seems to be a change in guards of who's the better conference. And don't get me wrong, SEC from top to bottom, they are a very solid team, but you cannot deny the fact that since NIL has taken over, that everybody's caught up a little bit to the SEC. I mean, you're seeing teams go in there and beat that. Like the Wolverines beat Alabama in a bowl game without their starters. Like this is happening nowadays. So It's to me, when I sit here and think about why is the SEC the one calling all the shots, they shouldn't be at this very moment. Actually, the Big Ten should be the one calling the shots, because for the past 2 years, they've won the national championship.
You talk about NIL. I want to get to the story with you later. Cooper Flagg, he made it too. Wow. If he could just sign a long-term extension to stay at Duke, I think he'd do it. But he's going to be on his way to the NBA in the first overall pick. But we'll get to that coming up a little bit later. It is T-Bone and Tyvis. Matt Fontana in for T-Bone this morning. Of course, Tyvis, pal. I also wanted to get your thoughts on this, Tyvis, about the responsibility, I understand that the Big Ten and the SEC, they have the most power. Usually when you talk about, I would say corporate setting, but I think about that big boardroom. I love Batman. So I was thinking about the Batman boardroom where he's sitting there and he's falling asleep in the back and the guy comes up. That's like Greg Sankey. He's sleeping in the back of this meeting and he's like, yeah, whatever you're good with, I'm still going to get 4 teams into this playoff. It's going to be fine. I'm going to go and catch a nap. But usually the ones at the front of the table are the ones that have the most power. That is the Big Ten. That is the SEC. And I just wonder, to sit there and say, yeah, we care about the ACC and we care about the Big 12. They could say, I know that's not true. I know they're saying that because, to your point, they still need matchups. They still need good teams to make it. As casual fans, yeah, I would like them to avoid Big Ten matchups again. I don't want to see Ohio State play Indiana in the first round, especially if they play in the regular season. Yeah. I'd rather them go play a different team from a different conference. So you're going to need some new blood, if you will, injected and get a Big 10 or a Big 12 team in an ACC. But I sit there and I go, really, how concerned should the Big 10 and the SEC be about the rest of these conferences, knowing as long as they get their teams in, we're going to be all right. We're going to get the viewers. We're going to get the games we're looking for.
I think that you're right. As a fan, I don't want to see Ohio State versus Indiana if I just seen it like 3 weeks ago. You don't want to see. Plus, the outcomes of those games are always tricky because it's always hard to beat a team 2 times. But I think that they're going to do a good enough job because at some point, I know they're going back to the straight seeding. There is no, if you win your conference, you don't get the bye. They're the first 4 best teams are the ones that get the bye, and which I like that model, by the way. But I think that you can play with those rankings. This is the thing. This is not like the BCS model where like you put the numbers in and it just pops out. The committee is voting on who's at what spot, and I think the committee will do a good job of not putting Big Ten on Big Ten or SEC on SEC. They will create the matchups that they want, and I feel like they kind of do that anyways. They've done that for this past season where it was like, we're going to put them in this spot right here because this is a better matchup, and this is something that people want to see, So I think that that's what's going to happen, even, if they do 4 at-large bids for both conferences or whatever the case may be. I think that CFP committee is smart enough to know we want ratings. Ratings brings money. So what is going to rate the best? Well, people want to see the Big Ten versus the SEC, or people want to see the ACC versus the Big Ten, and they're going to do a good job of slotting those games.
And they fill that bracket out too, and they're sitting there and go, we got to tell people we're not biased on who we want to see advance here, but they're like, yeah, we kind of want to see this team advance, or we think this team might be moving on right here. I don't know if the NBA wanted exactly how their finals ended up being. We'll talk about that coming up a little bit later with the Pacers and the Thunder and just the massive favorites that the Thunder are going into the finals. We got that all coming up for you over the next 3 hours right here on 97.1. But we talk about expansion on the college side of things. What about some expansion on the pro side of things, including permanent overseas teams? We'll discuss that with the NFL coming up. It's T-Bone Tyvis right here, 97.1, The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Well, the roads are looking pretty busy right now. We are closely monitoring a crash happening just north of Dublin. Riverside Drive between Emerald and John Shield Parkway is closed in both directions because of one car that was involved in an accident. The detour there, if you're heading down that area, hop off Riverside Drive to either Bright Road or Bridge Park Avenue, depending on where you're coming from, and just continue on Sawmill Road. It will save you a little bit of time as you step out the door this morning. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay minus 108 than minus 110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sports book. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Leslie, what's that hot lamp against your window for?
Pella windows are tested up to 160 degrees Wilson to ensure efficiency and the lowest energy bills possible, even in the craziest of temperatures. Put your hand on there.
All right. God, that's hot.
On the window, Wilson.
Oh, hey, that is quite nice and cool. So I'm going to go grab some ice now.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for innovation at PellaColumbus.com.
Do your good-looking shoes hurt and you don't want to wear ugly shoes? At the Good Feet store, we can help you wear your heels, boots, and dress shoes again in comfort. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
It always seems to happen at the worst time. You're finally in bed after a long, hard day, and then you hear it. You sit up, heart sinking. Is that coming from the ceiling? All of a sudden, it's a middle of the night flashlight hunt to find the leak. But don't worry, Newman Roofing has you covered, literally. With more than 3 decades in the business, we've seen just about everything a storm can throw at a roof. Our teams know how to spot the problem, explain your options, and fix it right the first time, with craftsmanship and care you can feel good about. We're not just here for a quick patch job, and we never will be. We're here to make sure your home stays protected season after season. So when it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, choose the company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding, over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy New Week, everyone. We start off the morning with temperatures in the 40s, but don't worry, we warm up pretty quickly this afternoon into the mid to upper 70s with mostly sunny skies. We'll see mostly clear skies overnight with lows in the 50s and then even hotter on Tuesday as we climb into the mid 80s with plenty of sunshine, so don't forget the sunscreen. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10th weather impact forecast.
T-Bone and Tyvis is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
2 men, 1 appendix. This is T-Bone and Tyvis.
Well, we got done talking about expansion in the college game. What about expansion to the NFL? And this one, I don't think is actually going to happen, Tyvis. I'll tell you why. T-Bone and Tyvis right here on 97.1 The Fan. You got Matt Fontana in for T-Bone. He is Tyvis Powell. So now I got to ask about that intro. Do you have your appendix, or is it T-Bone that doesn't have this?
That is T-Bone that does
okay.
not have
I
this.
have mine. So, like, Bro, this might be the last week I do the show. I'm just woefully unqualified. I have my hair. I'm kind of not, like you said, I don't want to say the F word. I have my appendix.
Let's not get it twisted. I have my hair too. As a matter of fact, I'm going to. When you see me on Wednesday, you're going to look at me like I'm weird because I'm going to have this ace bandage. For all the people that's tuning in on YouTube or from the YouTube chat, listen, when y'all going to see me on Wednesday, I'm going to have this ace bandage on my head. When you see that, just mind your business. Just mind your business. I had a little hair procedure that's going to get done tomorrow. Good. So I need to, I'm trying to make sure I don't look like T-Bone. Every time I look at T-Bone, it's motivation.
Every day you're just like getting that much closer. Oh, I'm happy for you. I am. I'm like, I don't say I'm excited to see you in an ace bandage, but like that's good for you, man. That's good.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate that.
So we'll find out on Wednesday how it goes. You got the guy's guards cap on there. Nice little sweep there for the guards.
Yeah.
Over the Angels, getting it done there. And we'll get the Shane Bieber news as well. As he's going to have a second rehab start coming up for the Guardians, and they certainly can help bringing it back. But we're talking about expansion on the college side of things, and I thought this was interesting coming from Pro Football Talk and Mike Florio, that according to him, the NFL Players Association, again, we're told at PFT, they could be preparing to eventually have a 4-team European division to join the stateside other 32. Per source with knowledge on the situation, NFLPA Executive Director Lloyd Howell has been actively discussing the pros and cons of not just putting one team overseas, but multiple, and creating what could be up to 200 union jobs. Obviously, you have a lot of players, though, going over there, new fan base, and all of that, to potentially have a 4-team division overseas. Now, I see one side of it where it's like if you put the 4, they obviously can play one another.
Mm-hmm.
Another pro is when your team's got to make that long trip, they can play multiple teams on one trip, then they can get a bye coming back. I would also have to assume this coincides with the 18-game schedule that they want, multiple bye weeks, and you play with that. Tyvis, I was sitting there, I'm like, I'm trying to stretch it to find room to put one team potentially overseas. I cannot see 4. I cannot see a whole division of teams going overseas to play, Spain and England and Germany. Like, I just don't see it.
I would say that if you are going to make a team overseas, you would have to do 4 for the fact that they will have their own division. So that, to me, that's the no-brainer part. However, as a football player, I cannot stress this enough. I wouldn't want to travel over there. That means that, okay, yeah, I get the logic behind the fact that, all right, if you're going to go over there, we're going to have a team in London, and we're going to stay there and have you play all these teams over there while you're there. Okay, but now you're taking 2 to 3 weeks away from my family. Like, I won't see my family for like 3 weeks. Like, to me, I think that that's kind of ridiculous, and I don't think people really want to sign up for that. I think that, it's fun in the moment to go do it one time. If you're a team like the Browns this year, they're going to go to London and play the Vikings over there. That's fun. If you've never been there, it's fun to go over there, get a week where you're out there, you get to experience what it's like to be there, then you play a game, boom, you get on your flight, you come back home. But to be out there for multiple weeks, I just don't think that anybody really want to sign up for that. And then you talk about like the European League. Well, they have a football league. If memory serves me correct, there is a European League of Football that has some teams over there. Actually, they got like 4, 8, 12, 16 teams over in that league. So let them do their thing. Let them go ahead and just let them have that football thing right now.
And this, I didn't know if you were talking about like American football or football, like soccer over there.
I'm talking about American football.
Yeah. And it's like, this is the thing. You're also going something where soccer. Sorry, I am going to call it soccer because that's what I do. But it's like that is so well established, and I get where the NFL could say, "Hey, we'll tap into some of that," and be like, they don't really care. They enjoy it like when the Jags go there every year and they signed up for it. And I can't speak from experience. I haven't been over there on a Sunday when they're playing football. But Tyvis, like, do you see? I'm asking like you've gone to, but it's like, are there tens of thousands of Jaguars fans walking around London? Because that was the idea that the NFL had. So if you saturate it with the 4, let alone, I thought about this, man. How are they going to do tryouts? Every Tuesday during the regular season, they fly players in to do tryouts. Okay, everybody got your passport. Can you imagine a free agent? There's sometimes free agents that don't want to go play in California because of the taxes. Could you imagine, hey, you got to go fly over there. We're to pay in U.S. dollars, but they're going to tax you over there. Then there's probably some weird tax code that you got to get hit with when you bring it back to America and you go move back to Cleveland, Ohio, or Columbus, Ohio, where you reside with your family and all that. Like, I just think there's way too many hoops to jump through here. For what? You already have the international games. I'm fine with those. Listen, I like everybody. I like waking up at 9 o'clock on, in our time.
Catch that game early in the morning, and then it leads you right to the 1 o'clock game, and now you get an extra. It's like an extra time slot. So I have no problem with that. It's gonna be interesting covering the Browns this year because they got that game. It's gonna be interesting trying to wake up early to do pregame and postgame for that show. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I do agree that I as a football fan, the more you can get of football on a Sunday, the better.
And if there is an element that they want to just expand the amount of international games, which I think is on the table, that's probably the biggest thing about how these negotiations go with the NFL. They're going to push for the extreme knowing they're not going to get it. Instead of coming in with your best offer, you come in with a high offer and be like, oh, well, we'll just put 4 teams over there. The NFLPA might sit there and go, okay, we're not going to do that. Okay, fine. We'll expand the amount of games. What games might be played with the salary cap coming up, getting that 18th game and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you mentioned earlier, money makes the world go round, right? Think about this. an expansion fee right now. We'll pull together our money. $10 billion for a team before you even put a shovel in the ground for a stadium, before you buy a single jersey, before you pay a penny to any player. You got $10 billion that you have to pay the NFL. If they got 4 teams in Europe, which, again, there's a lot of rich soccer owners over there, that some of that's chump change to them.
Yeah.
That's $40 billion. That's a $1.2 billion to each NFL owner if they were to sign up on this and if they were able to say that, hey, we're going to do it. And the final thing, quick, I'll say this on Tyvis, too. They got 32 teams, and I see some guys on some rosters that I go, I don't know if you quite deserve to be playing in the NFL. Could you imagine having to do – we can't even find 32 starting quarterbacks right now. Imagine 36. Imagine them trying to put players to find enough guys to put for 4 more teams. I go, there's some quarterbacks playing, man. I don't think should be in the NFL right now. How you going to find 4 more?
I'm going to tell you right now, first of all, if they find out that they're going to make 4 new teams – the USFL is going to be like, yes, my chance to get back to the NFL. All this talk about nobody wants to fly over there for workouts, they sure do, because all those guys want that opportunity to be back in the NFL. So I think that's kind of how they would be able to field a roster, is by getting some of those guys from the USFL, and then obviously getting guys that's coming out of college that year and things like that. But yeah, it would. You're right. It is hard to find 32 good quarterbacks, let alone trying to get 36. It would make the league very interesting. I don't think I'm a fan of it. I really don't want to see it. Yeah. But I tell you what, if they called my phone today, Matt, because as I was sitting there yesterday, and I just really started to miss playing the game of football.
I saw your tweet.
I missed the competitiveness. I missed the violence. I missed the being able to take your pent out aggression out on people. I miss all of those things. So if they so happen to call the 31-year-old Tyvis and say, you know what?
You're on a plane tomorrow.
Do you want to still give it a go? I might put my toe in that water and get back over there just to see if I still have it. Now, I don't know what position I would play because, as we talked about in the beginning of the show, I've put on some pounds.
Linebackers in your future. You're good. Hey, the good news is you could still do this show. It'd be like 1 a.m. or actually the other side. You'd be done with practice by the day, so you're still good. On the time change, you and T-Bone are still good. Get it done a little bit later in the day, you'll be just fine.
That would be a full day. I come in here and tell everybody, at practice today, it didn't go really well. I might be getting cut, so I might be back full time at the fence.
There you go. We got the technology time. This is all over. Well, we got Clip That. We'll get to it coming back 2 minutes away right here at 97.1 The Fan.
Fan traffic
from the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Well, good morning. All areas leading into the metro are looking pretty fantastic for your Monday. 70 on both the west and east side of our areas are looking great. Over to the 670 and 270 splits over in Gahanna, your roads are looking pretty smooth. And drive times are up to par if you're heading up US 33 from the Canal Winchester area. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Fan traffic is sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina. It's boat season at Buckeye Lake Marina. Largest new and used boat inventory in the 3-county region. Details and more at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds, through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at HIMS.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED. But HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to HIMS.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
That's our us. When dreams sunk in, that's our us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
Baths are us. When dreams sunk in, baths are us.
T-Bone and Tyvis is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Sign up today at awaken180weightloss.com.
Listen to that! Son of a... That's unbelievable! Oh my goodness! Holy smoke! Just incredible!
T-Bone and Tyvis present Clip That.
Sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com. Receive a 100% match when you deposit up to $400 with the Prime Sports Ohio app.
Any chance we see you late August back for a football game, Texas, Ohio State, and any prediction for the game? You got to be careful with Mr. Nicholas.
No, you don't have to be careful at all. I think it'll be a pretty good football game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to be careful. We're still riding high after the, national championship. I mean, come on. You know, last year we actually got to go to the Cotton Bowl. That was really fun. I mean, obviously the result wasn't what I hoped that it would be, but I mean, it was really cool to see that environment, enjoy the game. Gosh, I don't even know what I'm going to do tomorrow, let alone in August, but I'll definitely be watching on TV at the very least.
That was Scotty Scheffler after he took home back-to-back Memorial Champion. You heard the great Golden Bear Jack Nicklaus in the rivalry. He's an Ohio State grad. Scotty Scheffler went to Texas, and he'll see if he'll bring it on back. It is T-Bone and Tyvis right here on 97.1 The Fan. He is Tyvis Powell, of course, former Ohio State Buckeye. I'm Matt Fontana, and it's funny, Tyvis, as we do this, and I'm trying to introduce myself a little bit more. I've had some weekend shows here in Columbus, so for people to get to know me a little bit, I always say this. I wasn't smart enough to get into Ohio State. I was smart enough to marry somebody who got into Ohio State. My wife is a proud graduate of The Ohio State University. We have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old. Our 4-year-old son, bro, he loves every team he sees in red, he thinks is Ohio State. He loves Ohio State.
I love the fact that you are training him at a young age.
He's a big kid already, so I'm not saying that Ryan Day might have something here in about, he's only 4, so we got some time to go, but he's a big kid, so we'll see where we go with that.
Would you rather him play offense or defense?
See, I played offense at D3, so I was a tight end, but like I think if he's going to be that big, like edge rusher, you know what I mean? Like that would be
you trying to break the bank.
Yeah,
you know the way the NIL world works.
We're going to get Scuba Flagg in a second. We'll get to that coming up here in just a minute. But, yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, offensive line is fine, and there's some guys that get paid doing that. But I was like, I still have Myles Garrett contract. And I'm not saying he's going to be that, but like, you always know the more that envelope gets pushed up top, it drags the bottom with it. So that's just my thoughts.
Well, I tell you what, I don't have a son, but if I do get blessed to have a son one day, if he plays football, it's quarterback only. I don't care. I know I played DB. I know I loved wide receiver as a kid. I'm telling him right now, quarterback. You cannot see these contracts come out and say to yourself, yeah, no, I want to play left tackle. I want to play edge rusher. No, quarterback, that's it.
And we got guys playing until they're 40 now,
that's
too,
what I'm saying.
and making that money.
And the rules is protecting you, so you're good.
Yeah, it is all about it. To see Scotty go back-to-back there, and the Memorial, which obviously was a fantastic weekend. I know everybody, we were down there and really had a great time, and the weather didn't cooperate every single day. But yesterday was, listen, you had the best golfer in the world, the guy that everybody pays to come see, kind of come back, after, not like he led wire to wire there, and you're watching, let's say, Cinderella story in Ben Griffin, and obviously he's been really hot, but you watch it, he goes eagle birdie there late on Sunday. You're like, okay, can he get back with it? And Scotty Scheffler goes, watch me slam this door shut.
Yeah.
And go ahead and take this golf tournament, which is what it did. It's got to be so special for him as it is for all the players to do it at Jack's place and cement himself. And we're at that point now where, we talk about Tiger, and we talk about what that era was, where you're showing up at golf tournaments, and instead of the conversation being, I wonder who's going to win, the conversation is anyone going to beat Scotty Scheffler? Is anybody going to beat Tiger like it was back in the day? I think we're right there close to that. And all Scotty does is show up. He's won as many golf tournaments as the Colorado Rockies have won games in a month. It's crazy. It's absolutely
no, it really
crazy.
is. You know, I think you're right. You know, when you see Scotty Scheffler's name on the list for the event, a lot of people right now in their minds are thinking, okay, well, who's coming in second? Because it's the number one, we already know who's going to win one, and obviously he had a great run at the Memorial. I knew after day one, he was tied for 7th. I think he was -2. He was tied for 7th place. And I looked and I said, oh, yeah, he's in prime position. And sure enough, boom, he comes in Sunday.
That got to be defeating. To be like, dude, I'm leading this tournament, and he's like, oh, no, he's right there. Here he comes.
I turned it on Sunday, and I said, oh, yeah, he's in first. He was up by like 3 strokes. I said, it's done. It's done. I don't know why we even need to finish this. It's not going to happen. But, you know, I was young for when Tiger Woods was doing it because he did it like in the early 2000s, you know, probably late 90s and things like that, where I was a young guy, so I really didn't understand. But when I watch Scotty right now, for the past year and a half, I would say, I've been like, this guy has just been lights out. And it's like every time he shows up and he makes these big putts. The most impressive story to me is still last year when he went to jail. He still got out of jail, and he didn't win, but he still performed very well at that event. Like, this guy is just head and shoulders above everybody right now, and it is fun to watch. You know, I know some people don't like seeing dominant people be dominant in a sport, but I can appreciate greatness when I see it.
No, and that's where the greatness is there, and like you said, it's different for the fans. Outside of placing your wagers on it and things like that, it's almost like, I don't say we don't care who wins. It's good for golf, you know, with everything getting lined up there with the live and fighting it off and all that kind of stuff. Like Scotty Scheffler, the PGA Tour has got to be through the roof that he's doing it right now. You know, as they're at I think they're pretty close to like just making, you know, just kind of pushing it, live off to the side. Like, they need a guy like Scotty Scheffler on Sunday for the ratings, and he's certainly doing that. A guy that gets the ratings, though, as well, is Cooper Flagg. Comes out this weekend. Tyvis, you said it to me as well. It comes out, which is just crazy that in today's world about, like, pro sports where contracts get leaked because that helps other guys get contracts and everybody knows and everybody makes, that is now happening in college. With NIL being what it is, we're finding out what these kids are making in the NIL side of things. So, Howard Bryant telling Bob Costas on the 92 Street Y that Cooper Flagg, expected to go number 1 overall to the Dallas Mavericks, might not even want to leave college because he reportedly earned $28 million through 2 separate NIL deals in just 1 year playing basketball for the Duke Blue Devils.
There's no way.
$13 million from New Balance, reportedly. And $15 million from Fanatics. Now, I get the one because, like, New Balance will get a shoe. Fanatics, I'm sure he signed a bunch of cards and did a bunch of stuff. Tyvis, I looked this up, bro. $28 million. He made more money this past year than Andrew Wiggins, R.J. Barrett, Jalen Brunson, Draymond Green, DeMar DeRozan, Terry Rozier, Aaron Gordon, Kyle Kuzma, Dylan Brooks. All these guys are in. DeAndre Hunter, Cleveland Cavalier.
There's
Cooper
no
Flagg
way.
made more money than all those guys.
I refuse to believe this. There is no way that these kids is making $28 million in 1 year in college. I can't believe that. I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And it's like
I might be jealous, Matt. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no, dude, trust me. I totally get it, and that's where this. As it has gone on a little bit about trying to figure out what this NIL is, what the world is that we live in. Yeah, we're not talking about, you know, oh, here's a car. Here's even, you know, $500,000, which to a lot of us, like, that's a lot of money too. $28 million. And again, I understand that Cooper Flagg is going to be the number 1 overall pick, that he's been preparing for this. Like, even when he was in high school, he was on the spotlight. I hope he's got good people around him to help him out. But it's just like, when they sign that to get the shoe, to get the deal or whatever, like, yeah, man, like, that seems to be so much money given to
There is no way. 20. I couldn't even get a Happy Meal. And you have been telling me this man got $28 million?
Wasn't it Harbaugh? He gave somebody a hamburger.
Oh, yeah. Had to get suspended for it and all kind of jazz. Yeah,
was there cheese on that? Is there cheese? Oh, you gave him 2 patties. That's suspension. What? Suspension.
This is. I'm happy for him. I am. I really am. I just can't believe this. $28 million. Like that maybe it was 2.8. Maybe they missed the decimal in there.
Maybe. He's going to be the top pick. He's expected to sign a $62 million contract, but that's over 4 years. That averages out to $16 million per year. He's going to take a pay cut to go pro. He's going to take a pay cut to go pro. And again, this is just like one example because it is Cooper Flagg. He's not just some guy. Like, I get he's number one, but they're going to have to figure some of this stuff out, I think, as these players decide if they're staying, in college, if they want to go to the pros and when they want to get there. But it's going to be crazy. All right, the league is going to. I want to get into some NBA discussion. We'll get ready to go. Waiting till Thursday for the first NBA Finals game. Some news on Tom Thibodeau. Karl Anthony Towns. Oh, boy. We'll get to it coming up. 97.1, The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Well, we are still closely monitoring some breaking news happening just north of Dublin. Riverside Drive between Emerald and John Shield Parkway is closed right now because of a crash. Northbound actually just opening up not too long ago, but southbound still closed at this moment. A great detour for you if you are in this area, either to hop off of Riverside Drive if you're heading down south on Bright Road and then continue on Sawmill, or if you're going up north on Riverside Drive, just exit off eastbound Bridge Park Avenue and then continue north on Sawmill. Should save you a little bit of time this morning. I'm 10 TV's Brian Albizu with your fan traffic.
Men, is good enough really what you want with your sex life? This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if erectile dysfunction is making for a bad bedroom experience for you and your partner, you should call us because you want your intimacy to be fantastic, both for you and the one you love. At Tri-State Men's Health, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%. And because we're a medical practice focused on men's sexual health, we can offer many treatment options and even combine treatments to find the right one for you. Which means if you're like most of our patients, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and make a change from good enough to really good. And for a limited time, we're offering new patients a free first visit to help you get the care you deserve. This includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose to demonstrate to you the amazing effectiveness of our treatments. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a room of rejected mascot memorabilia. Is it real? No one knows. But we do know NJM is proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Hollywood Casino Columbus is bringing the funny this summer. Tiffany Haddish takes the mic on Friday, July 18th with the Funny and Fearless Tour. Then Dion Cole Live hits the stage Friday, September 5th for a night of nonstop laughs. 2 comedy icons, 2 unforgettable nights. Get your friends, grab a drink, and get ready to laugh all night long. Big names, big laughs, only at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Tickets available at Ticketmaster. Visit HollywoodColumbus.com for more details. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
Here's a fascinating fact from the Crosley Field era in Reds baseball. The old ballpark opened in 1912, but it took 10 seasons for the first over-the-fence home run in the big ballpark. Now, there were many inside-the-park home runs in that first decade, but it wasn't until this June 2nd in 1921 that the first ball actually sailed over the fence. Reds outfielder Pat Duncan hit it, a long fly that just cleared the left field wall, which was then a poke of some 370 feet. One fan was so excited he left the ballpark and bought Duncan a bouquet of flowers to give him before his next at-bat. Home run history this June 2nd, 1921, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Hi, Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the entire job, all from one partner. To get access to over 3 million products, including many products you won't find in our stores. It's time to get delivery on your schedule or next day on over 50,000 products. And time to get dedicated support on the job site or in our stores. From ordering to planning, we've got you. One partner, any job, all in. Ask about all we can now do at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
Progressive knows there are two things RV owners love: to travel and relax. And they like to take both nice and slow. Just like this commercial. And what's more relaxing than the peace of mind knowing their RV is protected by Progressive? Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. When Tyvis looks at Bone, he sees the future. Bald, fat, white. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
You got us here on T-Bone and Tyvis. He is Tyvis Powell. I'm Matt Fontana filling in this week for T-Bone. And this week, it's going to be a long one for me, Tyvis, because we got to wait till Thursday for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Obviously, the Pacers get it done in quick fashion. The Thunder had almost no problems outside of one game. They got blown out. I don't think they really cared. No issues with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the NBA's got this thing where they're like, listen, this is when we start the finals. We got TV deals. We got all this other stuff figured out that we got to do. And the finals, just no matter what, will not start until these days. So, like, we sit here and we just have this lull now where, I'm in Cleveland. So I'm a Cavs fan. And, yes, it's, pains me that we lost. Now a Pacers team going to the finals, like I said, should feel a little bit different about it. Wasn't giving them the credit they deserve, and I was wrong for that. Here they are. But, like, dude, now we got to wait? I got to wait this many days to get right back in? Like, I'm not saying the excitement – I'm not going to lie. The excitement is waning for me because you already got two teams that I want to see now what the Thunder have. And they are huge, massive favorites to take down the championship now. Like, I don't want to say this is the perfect recipe of disaster for the NBA where you have two teams that, yeah, it's not the Knicks. It's not the Celtics. It's not the Warriors of the past. I got to wait 5 days to get to my first game. And I've got a overwhelming favorite that I think for the rest of us just sit here and say, well, are they going to win it in 5 or are they going to sweep them?
I think that when you look at these two teams, one, this is the part of the NBA where I think, like, a lot of fans talk about how I don't like to see, like, a dynasty. I didn't like the Spurs when they were doing it. I didn't like when LeBron went to the Heat or when Kevin Durant went to Golden State. Like, that wasn't exciting because you knew they were going to win. But I also feel like people were more tuned in because of the possibility that, okay, maybe this Cavs team can beat that Golden State team, or maybe somebody can beat the Heat, But now, when you get to this year's finals, I think it loses excitement because you got SGA, who's a star in this league, and then you got Tyrese Halliburton, who's becoming a star in this league. But it's like they've lost a lot of star power in the finals, and I think that's something that people look to. It's not like, I think if you go poll people, like random people in the world, and ask them who is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I don't think people really know that answer. They'll be like, I never heard of him. Or Tyrese Halliburton, I don't really know. But if you ask them who LeBron James or Kevin Durant or Steph Curry is, everybody knows who those guys are. So this finals has lost that portion of it. I will say, I think that they will get a lot of views for Game 1. And depending on how Game 1 goes, is going to dictate how the rest of their series is when it comes to viewership. Because The Pacers have done a great job of coming in game one and shocking the world. I mean, they did it with the Cavs. They did it with the Knicks. They come right in there and they just somehow, some way win game one. And then it makes it more exciting. You know, it makes it like, all right, I need to tune in because this team is on fire. They're the hottest team in basketball right now. Let me see if they can beat this OKC team who historically is one of the best defensive rating teams we've ever seen play the game. So this game one is pivotal for the Pacers and for NBA. I know they're sitting there like, please let this game be close because if OKC comes out there and run the table, it's done. Nobody's really going to watch the finals anymore.
Well, nobody's, even in these playoffs, Tyvis, it's been a lot of 5-6 games. I mean, you had the 1 Game 7, between the Nuggets, and that was a great series. But, it's not been – it's been quick. It's been fast, and that's where – like you said, you're going to tune in game one to say, is this actually going to be a series, or are we just talking about OKC walking to the title in 5 games? Now, there's an element that they were the number 1 seed. They were one of the best teams, if not the best team in basketball the whole year. You want to see that get paid off. Like, if you don't have a dog in the fight, you root for one of 2 things exactly in this series. You're rooting for the big underdog because you don't want to see some team just walk to the title, or you want to say, you want the best team to get paid off. You want a team that was there all year and fought and was the best team to actually go win the title. So there's your 2 interests. I get it. Is that enough for me to stay up, by the way, late for a lot of these games to sit there and go, man, I really want to see if Tyrese Halliburton can win this game? Not necessarily. And here's the hard thing. Am I rooting for the Thunder? Yeah, probably, because the Pacers beat my Cavs. I don't want to see them go win a title. Because, no, don't you want to lose to the champ? No. I don't want to say
it would be 2 years in a row that the Cavs lost to the team that won it all. So, does that make it ease the pain a little bit? Maybe, maybe. But also it makes you think, if the Cavs would have got past the Pacers,
that's my thing, dude. Won it. That series still just gnaws at me because I still think the Cavs should have won that series.
Yeah.
I still think the Cavs. Here's the thing. I thought the Knicks were going to win that series, and
you
I'm
thought
wrong.
The Knicks was going to beat the Pacers,
dude. There's just something about the Pacers, and it's not that I like Tyrese Halliburton is a nice player.
You just don't like him.
It's not even that his dad thing. That's all aside. I thought that was pretty silly, and all that. And I guess maybe it is I do look at the Pacers. Halliburton's their best player. But, is he on the level of Jalen Brunson? No. Is he on the level of Donovan Mitchell? No.
He has been in these
Now he has. Now he has. And I watch some of these games and I go, is that Obi Toppin out there dropping 20? And the same thing. I like Pascal Siakam a lot. But I guess maybe they're like the anti-star power team. They do run with that pace and their offense and all that. Dude, TJ McConnell is out there burying people. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, it's just so different about what you do see in today's NBA. I guess it's I don't know if I'm prepared for that, twist or that push against the normalcy of, watching Jalen Brunson go off or watch the star player go off, watch Shea go off and things like that. I guess there's more of this, too, the Pacers, I don't want them to get good. Because, again, the Cavs are going to run into them. And I know they already are good, and I don't know how much a championship matters or how different it is for that. But it's I don't want to see the Pacers. I'll say I fully admit it. I got a hatred right now for the Pacers. Don't know what it is. I don't want to see them win. Go Thunder. Somebody give me a shirt.
Look, Thunder and 5.
Dude, it'd be easier, too. I'd love to bet it, but there's no, they're almost minus 1,000 to win the series. You're better off probably taking it in 5 or in 6.
I think this series is probably going to be a little bit better than people anticipate because the one thing about the Thunder, or not the Thunder, about the Pacers is they can score at a high clip. And, I know the Thunder this whole year has been all about defense, but for some odd reason, man, they do a good job of being physical, trying to take away the best player. I mean, I know Shea is much bigger than Donovan was, but, they're going to do a great job of taking the rest of those guys away. And the thing is, the Thunder are going to be forced to have to score points. And I don't know if they could continue to do that on a night-to-night basis because the Pacers are conditioned for that. Yeah, and I don't know if the Thunder are.
That's the thing, the depth on both these teams, too. They have it. They can go where they need to go and get it done. All right, we're going to go 7 o'clock hour upon us coming up. All 32 coach and quarterback combos in the NFL ranked on out. I think we can all guess who number 1 is. We'll tell you where the Steelers, Bengals, and Browns finish out in that. And Stefon Diggs out with the Patriots potentially before he ever even plays for them. We'll get to it coming up right here, 97.1 The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and welcome to your Monday. All roadways leading into the metro looking fantastic for your Monday commute. We are noticing some congestion, though. This is happening just outside of New Albany. State Route 161 at Hamilton Road, seeing some cars bumper to bumper out there because of some construction plans that are taking place right now. Nothing too concerning, though, as you step out the door this morning. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HindererMotorCompany.com.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With TrueHold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. TrueHold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since TrueHold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit TrueHold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Stay hydrated. It's hot out there. So my teenage son just went out in sweatpants and a hoodie. It's 98 degrees. At least I know he'll be cool in our house, thanks to Atlas Butler. If something goes wrong, they'll fix it within 24 hours. They call it their comfort pledge. Get too hot?
My phone.
Oh, your phone. Should have known.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Everybody today in America is trying to get healthy. I'm doing it. You're doing it. There's people out there everywhere. And most people, they don't feel good. And so when you don't feel good, what do? You go to the doctor. There's pills, there's steroids, there's surgery. You don't want to deal with any of that. You don't want to be put on the shelf. You don't want to put things in your body that you do not enjoy. So here's what you need to do. Go see my friends at QC Kinetics, just like I did. My body was beaten up, so was my dad's. We went to QC Kinetics. They're not into the quick fixes. They're going to go there and they're going to diagnose you and find regenerative treatments with your own body's healing power to help heal that damaged tissue. And so you're going to feel better. You're going to be able to do the things you'll love again, and that's perfect because it's summertime. So listen, they're going to go right to the source of it at the cellular level. So give them a call at 380-208-4544 or go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. They have offices all over Ohio. So go check them out today.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows, binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on Warm Weather Vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take a shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5HEshot.com for full details and rules to enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. Gavin Williams threw 6 2/3 score this inning. Jose Ramirez had a solo blast as part of a 3-run fourth, and the Guardians beat the Angels 4-2 on Sunday afternoon at Progressive Field. Cleveland takes 2 out of the 3-game set against LA. They'll be off today before they begin a 3-game set in the Bronx on Tuesday night. At Wrigley Field, Nick Martinez got tagged for 5 runs in less than 5 innings, and the offense managed just 4 hits as the Reds fell to the Cubbies 7-3. Chicago takes 2 out of 3 in that series over the weekend. The Redlegs are back at home tonight when they host the Milwaukee Brewers at 7-10. And for a second consecutive year, Scotty Scheffler wins the Memorial Tournament as he finished his weekend at 10 under par and 4 strokes ahead of second-place finisher Ben Griffin. Scheffler joins Tiger Woods as the only repeat winner at Muirfield Village Golf Club. This update is sponsored by RCD RV Supercenter in Heath, Delaware, and Pataskala, or online at rcdrv.com.
Both of these men love the Browns. Also, both of these men hate the Browns. If you know, you know. This is T-Bone and Tyvis.
There you go, Matt. That one is very fitting right there.
That's me. We've been doing it all morning. Matt Fontana in for T-Bone. He's Tyvis Powell. And as I'm hosting it, they're doing all these funny intros, which I love. And to this point, I have found that I was like the exact opposite of T-Bone, right? I'm not... You know, like you said, the F word, I'm going to say that. I'm not a bigger guy. I have my hair. I also have my appendix. I found that out earlier that T-Bone doesn't have his appendix. But we finally got one that I love the Browns, yet I also really hate the Browns a lot because I'm a lifelong Cleveland born and bred fan. Tyvis, you're from the area as well. You're down at Columbus. But, yes, that's the first one. I'm looking at Bodie. I wonder which other ones he has for the rest of the show. I'm very excited for that and the rest of the week to see which other ones I fit or don't fit with T-Bone. So that's one, man. It took us an hour. We got one.
I'm glad that we was able to get you this victory.
There we go.
I'm thinking of the other ones, and I'm trying to figure out if any of the other ones will apply. I guess we'll see.
I guess we'll find out. Again, I'll be in all week, so we'll have plenty of time to figure all that out. Well, speaking of the Browns, they were on this list coming from SI and Matt Verdame. So they did, and we start with this one. I think this is super interesting, Tyvis, to start this poll that they did where they ranked each of the coaches and quarterbacks, combined them to come up with the best in the league. So we'll start it out. Number 1, Kansas City. No shocking in that. That not only they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid up there, they're 1-1.
Yeah.
So they combined for a score of 2. It's like golf. The lower the score, the higher you are. They were number 1. They were number 1 on last year's ranking at SI. Here's the thing I want to bring up to you first, because I think this is super interesting. That of the 59 Super Bowl champions, they believe that only 9 of those teams fit a parameter. So this is actually, if you think about go ahead and betting on Super Bowl champions or whatever, only 9 of 59 champions didn't have a quarterback who was an all-pro or Hall of Famer or a coach that will be in the Hall of Fame one day. They think that these 9 or rare squads, as they put it, the 85 Bears, Jim McMahon, Mike Ditka, the 2000 Baltimore Ravens, which always gets brought up as a team that you're like, oh, how the hell did they get there? But then they also put the 07 and 11 Giants, which I think is a little like Eli Manning slander of, I think he's going to make the Hall of Fame
he shouldn't.
one day.
He shouldn't.
You don't think so?
No. Because there is never a point in Eli's career where we looked at him and said, you know what? He's the best quarterback in the league.
Sure.
Like that. So therefore, I get that he's got the 2 rings against Tom Brady, and that's great. But overall, there's nothing about his career outside of those 2 wins that tells me he's a Hall of Fame. I think he's in the Hall of really good. But if you're telling me, see, when I look at the Hall of Fame, man, I look at it like this. If you put Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame, you're telling me he's just as good of a player as Tom Brady. He's just as good of a player as Peyton Manning. He's as good as all these great quarterbacks that's in the Hall of Fame. And it just doesn't – he's going to water it down. That's what I think. He waters it down a little bit to me.
I'll listen to this. I've always subscribed to the Hall of Fame. The prestigiousness of a Hall of Fame is not who's in, it's who's out. If you, to your exact point, if you let everybody in, then – and I'm going to say become the Basketball Hall of Fame, but they let a lot of people in, and they have different parameters for all that. Football, I think, is right where they have got a set limit each year. And some guys do have to wait. Like, we all know that some of these guys will eventually make it. Some are like, no question about it, bona fide first ballot, don't even think about it, we're off to the races, okay, fine. But I'll listen to that for sure about not being in. I think it's a little bit more about who doesn't get in versus everybody. And then the final team they bring up as far as a champion who didn't fit the All-Pro Hall of Fame quarterback Hall of Fame coach, the 17 Philadelphia Eagles. Nick Foles leads them to that. Sorry to Doug Peterson. I don't think unless he has some remarkable turn here in the second half of his career as a coach. We'll see how that goes. So they bring this up to say that this is obviously an important ranking if you want to do anything, is coach and quarterback. So we start at the top again. Number 1, Kansas City, no question. 1-1 for Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I also think that this one is right on for number 2. It's the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
But they only beat the Rams by 1 point. They say John Harbaugh is the 5th best coach. Lamar Jackson is the 3rd best quarterback. Tyvis, I think they deserve to be number 2. I guess I'm a little shocked that Harbaugh is down there at 5. I think Lamar, obviously, they're being at 2, or I'm assuming at 3. Assume Josh Allen's going to be at 2, which he is. I think that's fair for Lamar. I thought Harbaugh might be up that ranking a little bit more.
The thing is, Harbaugh has done an amazing job. And, although I don't like his brother, I have to give him credit. I have to give him credit for what he's been able to do since he's been at Baltimore. I mean, they are always in the conversation. And right now, they're always in the top of the AFC North. When you think about as Browns fans, that's the team that we're trying to compete with. And obviously there's always going to be some hate there because they stole the original Cleveland Browns, but that's another story in itself. But you can't deny the fact that John always has his teams ready to go. John is always going to have every year they come into the season, you have to say Baltimore has a shot of winning the Super Bowl. And to me, that is just what a great coach does with his team. No matter what the circumstances is, they've hit on the right draft picks. They understand the importance of having defense, and those guys play every Sunday with a passion and with a chip on their shoulder.
Rams at number 3 again. SI going through all 32 coach and quarterback duos. The Rams are at 3 because Sean McVay, the 3rd ranked coach, they put Matt Stafford at 6. 6th best quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if I agree with that one.
I'm trying to think of the people that's in front of him.
Well, then the Chargers are at 4 because they have Jim Harbaugh at 7 and Justin Herbert at 8. Josh Allen comes in at – so the Bills are 5. Here's the interesting thing about that. This might be one of the largest gaps, right? They put Josh Allen as the 2nd best quarterback, Sean McDermott as the 15th best coach. So that's like they're 5 on this ranking, but we know they're 5 because of Josh Allen.
Man, I don't think Sean McDermott is that bad. I think it's been times where I felt like he's done a horrible job at dealing with situations, but I wouldn't say he's 15th. I feel like he's at least 10th, right?
I mean, I got this thing on Sean McDermott. I thought they were going to get rid of him after going into last season. I thought that might be one of his last years.
Why? Because of how he handled the Diggs situation?
Yeah, that. And then it's also like eventually with Buffalo just continuing to not make it or getting close.
They plateaued.
Eventually, that's the change you got to make, right? And I do have a block when it comes to the NFL when I see teams that have elite quarterback play or elite offensive players, and I still see a defensive-minded head coach or like a special teams type of coach where I'm like,
so you wanted him, huh? John Harbaugh was a special teams coach.
I know, and that's the thing. Harbaugh, I have a lot of respect for. I have a lot of respect for Mike Tomlin. We'll get to him on that.
Now you one of them people that got to have an offensive-minded head coach. I can't stand it. Defense wins championships.
I know, but I sit there and I'm just like, I get hooked on it because here's the other thing, too, and I think this is a great case study of a team that, by the way, we have not gotten to on this list yet is the Detroit Lions. And you sit there and you go, okay, Ben Johnson's gone now, right?
Yes.
And Dan Campbell's a great coach.
Yes,
he's a great coach.
Yep.
We'll find out what that is because when you have, and this is probably it, when you find that offensive guy that's got everything turned, and you're right, defense wins championships. We live in an offensive world. But you sit there and you go, that guy's not going to leave, right? Ben Johnson, he's going to leave. And the Lions knew that. It's a good problem that they have. And maybe they're going to have to deal with the Eagles dealt with where they lost both their coordinators. Oh, wait, by the way, Eagles went and won a championship last year, so maybe they didn't miss Gannon that much and Shane Steichen. But you don't let those guys leave because they're you got them. They're in their power the whole time.
Well, you can't stop OC or DC from leaving because everybody wants to run their own show. So anytime that opportunity comes, they're going to take it a lot of the time.
All right, I talked about a gap here. Steelers, number 6 on this list because they put Mike Tomlin as the number 2 coach in the entire NFL, only behind Andy Reid. They rank Aaron Rodgers 16th. To put the Steelers up there at number 6.
How they going to put it? It should be worse than that because Aaron Rodgers is not a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It should be Mason Rudolph.
They say
the list is flawed.
The Steelers, I think there's several flaws on this time. As I will get to maybe a few more.
I tell you what, don't say that Mike Tomlin, the second head coach or second best head coach, because there's a lot of Steelers fans that want him fired, and I cannot understand it.
No, that I don't either, and that's coming from a Browns fan who's been. I like Kevin Stefanski a lot, and I think he does a great job. But I see the stability of Tomlin and even John Harbaugh of what they've done in their 2 spots, and I'm like, can I have some of that? Can I just get a little piece? They want to get rid of Mike Tomlin. Somebody had a crazy idea about trading away Mike Tomlin out of Pittsburgh. Again, I'm not kicking Kevin Stefanski out the door, but I'd love to have him here. All right, Cincinnati is at number 9. So the Bengals come in with 20 points. Again, SI ranked the head coaches and the quarterbacks in the NFL to come up with a point system. Cincinnati comes in at number 9. Zach Taylor, 16th head coach in the NFL, and Joe Burrow at number 4. So again, another one that is pretty big between these two, the differences between the coach and the quarterback. All right, let's pause there. We'll get to the rest of the list. I want to tell you where the Browns are at. We'll continue running through because I really want to find some of the other quarterbacks that are up there as well. And then Stefon Diggs out in New England before he even plays. It all comes your way. T-Bone and Tyvis here on 97.1 The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We do have a crash that just popped up for folks over in the Canal Winchester area. The left shoulder is blocked right now on US 33 West at Bowen Road this morning. And we are taking a closer look at our traffic cameras here, especially US 33 at Gender Road. Typically a busy area already, but because of this crash, we are noticing severe congestion, bumper-to-bumper traffic out there. Of course, just make sure to take it nice and easy as you step out the door this morning because of this crash. I'm 10 TV's Breen Albizu with your fan traffic.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? It's all here, only with Spectrum TV Select. Popular apps are included: Disney Plus, Max, Peacock Premium, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, and more. And live TV for sports, entertainment, and news. Enjoy across your devices no matter when or where you are. Get Spectrum TV Select and start streaming your favorites today. It's all here. Visit spectrum.com/entertainment. Restrictions apply.
I think I just wrote the song of the summer. Listen.
That's just you drinking a big gulp from Speedway.
And just 89 cents for any size with Speedy Rewards? That's a hit. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 6/24/25. See app for full terms.
All your favorite summer flavors are a good deal better at Meijer. Great for the grilled prime cuts of fresh from Meijer pork shoulder butt roast or buy one, get one free. Assorted varieties of General Mills mid-size cereals are $1.99 each. Tender bulk sweet corn is 5 for $2. And select varieties of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce or marinade and Ken's dressing are all 2 for $5. Take time to enjoy the chillin' by the grill good life all summer long with Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Introducing Ice Cream Quakes from UDF. Big chunks of your favorite candies and cookies blended with real hand-dipped UDF ice cream. We'll say that again. Real hand-dipped UDF ice cream. Pick your flavor, pick your mix-ins, or try one of our featured recipes. And get an ice cream quake made the way you want. Real creamy, real chunky, real. Ice Cream Quakes. New from United Dairy Farmers.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accept accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is simple and effective. At the end of the day, it's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And bet and reduce juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Spring showers revealing roofing or siding issues? Trust the pros at Newman Roofing for expert care, white glove service, and quality you can count on. Schedule your estimate today and take advantage of special financing options. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS. Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Starting off the day with partly cloudy skies and wake-up temperatures in the 40s, giving way to lots of sunshine this afternoon and our highs into the upper 70s. Mostly clear skies and 50s tonight, and then even warmer on Tuesday. We have sunshine and highs getting into the mid-80s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
T-Bone and Tyvis is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
Tyvis Powell is a legendary Buckeye. T-Bone loves to eat Buckeyes. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
All right, we're 2 for 2 this hour. I love Buckeyes. Matt Fontana in for T-Bone. Every time we do a new intro for the show, I'm just seeing how much I can match up with T-Bone. The 6 a.m. hour, not good. I just had nothing. And now we're 2 for 2. I'm a Browns fan who also gets annoying with the Browns. And Tyvis, peanut butter and chocolate are just an undefeated combination. I mean, Reese, one thing with the Buckeyes on their own, I don't think I'd actually eat a Buckeye nut. I don't think you actually can. I have no idea what you do with them. But
isn't it poisonous, maybe?
It probably is. It probably wouldn't end well for me. But the Buckeyes, the candy, I'm all in for, and I love it. At Matt Fontana 83, appreciate the new follows on Twitter from some of the Columbus crew as well. And, of course, Tyvis Powell with you. We're running through this list of the 32 ranking of the coach and quarterback combination from SI. And I do want to touch on the Stefon Diggs situation coming up in just a minute with Tyvis as well. But to round the list out, we ended with Cincinnati, who was at 9. So 3 of the top 3 teams of the AFC North are in the top 9. 9 for Cincinnati. Pittsburgh is up there at 6, and number 2 for the for the Baltimore Ravens. Buffalo up there as well. Tyvis, I got to keep scrolling to find the Clevelands because they're all the way down here at number 28. They have a point total. So, again, the point total is where they rank the coach and where they ranked the quarterback. You want a lower score, bro, they got 50 points. And it's because Kevin Stefanski was at 19. They put Joe Flacco, who obviously they think will win this quarterback job. Dude, they put him at 31. There's only one quarterback worse. I'll let you guess on who that is. I'll tell you who they ranked as dead last in just a second. But, you know, it's hard because I think there is – I could sit there and try to tell you that I think Kevin Stefanski should be higher than 19. I don't know if I can tell you that the Browns, whoever the starter is, should be higher than 31. I can argue Stefanski. I don't know if I can argue the quarterback. It's probably fair. They're down there at 28th.
That's the thing, Kevin, I wonder where they had Kevin coming into last season.
That's a great question.
Because, I understand last season really messed him up a lot to where a lot of people lost a lot of faith in Kevin because of how bad the season went. But coming into that season, everybody was high on the Browns. I mean, national people were picking them to win the Super Bowl. So I wonder, is it just because of that one bad season that he's able to drop all the way down there? Like the Joe Flacco thing, I think that's ridiculous. It's some rookies that came into the league this year that's going to probably start.
28. Cam Ward, 28.
Is Tyler Shuck the 32nd?
Tyler Shuck is 32nd. Well done, Tyvis.
That's ridiculous to me that you're telling me that you think that a rookie quarterback is going to be that much better than Joe Flacco. And don't get me wrong, Joe is only good for about 6 or 7 games, and then he's going to fall off a cliff. So I understand that point of it. But for those 5 to 6 games that you get with Joe, he going to go for 300 or better. So that, to me, that's wild. And I think that Kevin – I think he'll bounce back this season, and I think he'll be higher on that list. I mean, he's at least in the top 15 of coaches.
I said the same thing. 19, I think I get. Now, all I can tell you is last year the Browns on this same ranking were 21st. So this year they're 28th. Last year they were 21st. And again, I would think you would have put Watson maybe in a similar thing coming into last year. Stefanski was probably a couple ticks up on it. Here's what Matt Verdame did write up about the Browns. It's impossible to believe the Browns quarterback situation going into training camp, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders all fighting for the job. While the ideal outcome would be Sanders or Gabriel looking great and winning the battle, Flacco has a history with Stefanski, not mentioned almost 2 decades of experience. It's his job to lose. Now, Tyvis, I know you cover the Browns as much as I do, and we're up here. Do you agree with that it's Flacco's job to lose? Because I felt that way. And I got a lot of people telling me, no, it's Kenny Pickett's job to lose. And that, they brought him in first and they traded for him because they wanted him. There are people that feel like this is Kenny Pickett's job to lose.
This whole thing has been so interesting because if you look at it from an investment standpoint, the person that the Browns have invested in the most is Dylan Gabriel because he's a 3rd-round pick. Joe Flacco's contract is fairly cheap. You traded a 5th-round pick for Kenny Pickett, and you signed or drafted Shedeur in the 5th round. So if you're going off of those metrics alone, Dylan Gabriel is the guy that they've invested in the most. However, if you listen to the reporters from practice, they say that it is a clear and concise that Joe Flacco is head and shoulders above the other 3 guys. And, they just didn't see it with Kenny Pickett, and they really just didn't see it with Dylan Gabriel. Actually, they say the 2 quarterbacks that's looked the best is Joe and Shedeur. Now, Shedeur has yet to take a rep with the ones from the practice that the media has been able to see. But he looked very good when throwing to the guys that he were throwing to and making the plays that he needed to make. So I do believe that it is Joe Flacco's job to lose. And I think if the Browns want to win games this upcoming season, you will start the season off with Joe Flacco.
And I think it's hard because I want the Browns to the write-up. It'd be best if Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders played well, showed that they might be able to be the guy for years to come, knowing the Browns have 2 what should be top picks next year. They have 2 first-round picks with the trade with Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And they'll go get another quarterback if they have to. And that's kind of why I want Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders to win the job.
Yeah, so you can see what you got.
Exactly. You know what you got. And even if it goes bad, we'll just go do it again next year. We'll just go draft another one because you're just wasting time. You don't have a quarterback. I think you're wasting your time in the NFL. Browns are near the bottom of this list for a reason, and I'd like them to try to get it figured out. All right, speaking of bottom of the list, you mentioned it. It is Tyler Shuck at 32, but Kellen Moore also 32 for the New Orleans Saints. So they got the max amount of bad time, like the max amount of badness is down there with New Orleans. I wanted to bring this team up because, Tyvis, I don't know if you would have the same reaction to this team as I would. So, again, 64 points was your max score, and you want a low score.
Yeah.
This team had 59. In 31st, it's the Jets. Aaron Glenn, 30th.
Okay.
And Justin Fields, 29th. I thought they should both be a little bit higher. I really loved that Aaron Glenn hire for the Jets.
The thing is, you can't, for the same reason that I felt about Cam Ward being that high, you don't know what Aaron Glenn is going to be as a head coach. And, although he's a very passionate guy, I always tell the story about how him and I got into it a little bit when I was coming out in the NFL draft. It was, long story short, that he drew this play up on the board, and I had used different terminology than he used, and he was very upset. It was very frustrating. We went at it over that. But Aaron Glenn is a very good coach. You could tell that he's a passionate guy. All the players love to play for him. And the fact that he's going back to the Jets where he played his career at, like, he's going to have much more passion there anyways. However, I have to see it first. You can't just come out there and say, you know what, this guy's going to be he's a home run hire. He's going to go out there. He's going to be a really great head coach. Because anytime you thought that before, it's fallen on his face. So it's impossible for me to put him above 30 when, he's a new first-year head coach.
And again, not even like a retread or had that experience, and he's coming from a great team and he's been a coordinator and things like that. But it's also like interesting to think about, Brian Callahan, who's been on the job, like he was 30 ranked and 28th coach, but like, first-time head coach for Ben Johnson, they put him up at 27, and Caleb Williams at 22. So, like, it's a better start for maybe some of these other guys than not. And I will fully admit, I got this Justin Fields thing, and I don't know what it is. I just think he can be good in the NFL. It's going to take the right system. He didn't get that necessarily in Chicago. I think last year the whole Russell Wilson situation wasn't good for them, and like I wanted the Browns to sign Justin Fields before last season.
A lot of people did. I mean, just if you, first of all, if you're an Ohio State fan, you already have biases with Justin. But
I admit
the
that,
thing is, like, when I watched Justin as a Buckeye, I mean, this man would throw more touchdowns than incompletions in a game, and it was like the wildest thing to me when I watched it. I mean, this is a guy who also took an Ohio State team that had one of the worst defenses in program history to the national championship single-handedly. So, to me, he's a winner. He got what it takes, and you've seen glimpses of it when he was with the Bears. I think the only thing with the Bears is that the coaching was not that great. And don't get me wrong, Justin Fields, he became a one-read guy. If his first read wasn't there, he would just take off. He's got to get into a system where he's comfortable with an offensive line, where he can go through his reads, and if he needs to run, everybody knows that he has that ability to do those things. But he definitely has to be more consistent as a pocket passer, and hopefully throwing back to G5, Garrett Wilson, having that familiarity from college, that'll help him get back to where he was and be a really good quarterback in this league.
Yeah, I'm a Stanford. I keep saying, I'm like, dude, he's gonna bust out.
I hope so.
I hope so. And it's like, again, I just see a skill set that I don't see with a lot of other guys, and it's like it's gonna take the right coach to tap into that. Sometimes it might even have to be like more of the college game than the pro game, but if you find the right coach to do it, Aaron Glenn, again, we talked about the defensive versus offensive head coaches where I'm at, and I do like the Aaron Glenn hire. I love it. I thought it was a really good hire there for the Jets, but unlocking Justin Fields is going to be the big key there for the Jets, so they're down on that list as well. All right, we got the Overachiever of the Week. I got an interesting one that I'm going to throw to everybody coming up in a little bit, and I'll give you this. It's not going to be Stefon Diggs as the Overachiever of the Week. He might be out in New England. We'll discuss the ramifications, all that coming up. T-Bone and Tyvis. Matt Fontana in for T-Bone. He's Tyvis Powell, 97.1, The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and welcome to your Monday. We are still closely monitoring a crash happening just north of Dublin. Riverside Drive between Emerald and John Shield Parkway, southbound lanes heading into that area are still closed this morning. Northbound opened up not too long ago. All we know so far is that it is a crash that happened, involved one car. No reported injuries or fatalities at this moment, but a good detour for you if you are heading into this area. Just hop off of Riverside Drive, go on to Bright Road instead if you're coming down south, and then just continue on Sawmill. Should save you a little bit of time as you step out the door this morning. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
With rates as low as 8.99% APR, now is the perfect time to save your summer with a debt consolidation loan from BMI Federal Credit Union. Visit bmifcu.org/consolidate.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as
going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up. Going up. But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button. Going down. We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40, period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free Samsung 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
T-Bone and Tyvis is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Sign up today at awaken180weightloss.com.
And now, it's time to highlight someone who's better than us in every single way. Meet our Overachiever of the Week.
I'm going to take my Overachiever of the Week here, my first time ever on T-Bone and Tyvis. Welcome back, Matt Fontana in. He's Tyvis' pal. And this one, it caught my eye getting ready for this one, Tyvis, because I think it's something that used to never happen. And now it's happening more often, and it might even be the new trend. And what I'm talking about is the Kansas City Royals are calling up their top prospect, Jack Caglione, less than a year after he was drafted. He's only 22 years old. He's only played 50 games between AA and AAA. By the way, he's hit .322 with 15 home runs and 56 RBIs in 50 games. So he's hitting. He's ready for it. But he was drafted in the first round just a year ago. And I think most people remember him. He was a guy, he did a ton of power, but he could also pitch at Florida. And they made him a full-time offensive player as soon as he joined the Royals organization. But, like, to see this, and I get that it's, I mean, again, hitting those numbers, he's ready to come up. And in just so many years past where it was service time and not ready to go, and like the Royals maybe aren't the team that they thought they were going to be to start the season off. They want that spark. He's doing all that well. Like Tyvis, that used to not be the trend. He used to toll away in the minors for 2-3 years, even as a first-round pick. Less than a year, and this guy's ready to go when he's going to get called up. I'm excited for it. Like, I'm all for it. I'm excited to see what this kid has.
You really hitting a sore spot right now with Guardians fans because of the Travis Bazzana thing. Now, don't get me wrong, he's out for what, like 8 to 10 weeks because of the oblique injury and all of those things. But he was a guy, knowing that he was the number 1 overall pick, we were like, at some point this season, we wanted to see him in the majors, and to hear that somebody else is getting that and doing those things and that's doing really well, like, it's like, all right, like, because the thing about the Guardians is that they've always had you hear about these great prospects. This guy, the Chase DeLauders, McAfee, George Valera, all these guys that's supposed to be when they get to the majors, I'm telling you, and we never see them. We just never see these guys, and it's getting frustrating. So when you tell me that somebody's went straight through like less than a year and boom, they make it into the majors, it just makes me look at the Guardians, because I'm a Guardians fan, makes me look at the Guardians and be like, what is going on?
What are we doing?
Why is it that they are able to just fly through it? Yeah, we got guys that's been there for 5-6 years and we still ain't seen. So you're really touching a sore spot right now.
Well, and I hate to tell you, there was an article I read too about even when Bazzana was playing, like,
he wasn't doing that well.
There was some concern. Yeah. There was some like advanced metric things on there where like they weren't liking some of the pitches he was chasing. And granted, Caglione could come up, and it's a whole different. It's a bad pun, and I apologize. A whole different ball game when he gets up there about the pitching he's going to face, and he's been really good about not striking out, but it just gets different. And we saw that too was it the Orioles player, not Rutschman? They called him up and they had to send him right back. And they were like, dude, he ain't ready to come up. And sometimes that happens. And sometimes it takes some time to get back to where you need to go. So I had to give him my nomination for Overachiever of the Week because you're doing something that I don't see very often. But maybe it is the new trend, and he gets called up a year after he gets drafted. So that's pretty well done.
Yeah, it is. For me, I went with a more historical overachiever. A guy that just he's more of a man than me, And this guy actually played a similar position, Pat Tillman. Remember Pat Tillman? Obviously, he played for the Arizona Cardinals, who decided to say, you know what, my country needs me right now. Puts their NFL career on hold and goes and serves, in the military and goes to war and things like that. And I tell you what, it's not many people that would do that. I mean, you're living out your dream of playing in the NFL, and he's doing pretty good. I mean, I think he turned down a contract. He was actually supposed to sign with Chicago for like $9 million, and he turned it down because he wanted to be loyal to the Arizona Cardinals for giving him the opportunity. So it's just a dude who did everything the correct way, and unfortunately, he died in war, from a friendly fire and things like that. But I mean, this guy right here is the guy that he doesn't get talked about enough. I know sometimes the NFL recognizes him and things like that, but, for me as a former football player, especially a guy who's played in the secondary, I look at a guy like that and I think, man, like, first of all, I'm grateful that he was even able to fight for his country to, so guys like me and you can, go through our day every day and feel safe. He was able to say, you know what? The NFL is nice. It might have been a childhood dream, but it's bigger things in the world, and I can make a bigger impact in my world by, protecting my country. So for me, I had to give him some light because I think people kind of, he's not a guy that we talk about every day, but he's done some incredible things in his life.
Absolutely, and obviously with Memorial Day being as recent it is something that you think about a lot, and a higher calling. I think about that a lot, where it's like there are people out there that make the sacrifices for that higher calling, and certainly the men and women that have made the ultimate sacrifice, and the ones that allow us to do a radio show every day, for us to live in the, again, things got to work out in this country, don't get me wrong, but it's still the greatest country out there, and it's because of the men and women that fight for our freedom every single day and did give the ultimate price. We flip back over on the NFL side of things, where Stefon Diggs in a little bit of trouble up there in New England. So the video, which I'm not even going to joke, Tyvis, you cannot watch it at work. Don't do it. Don't watch it with a kid. Like, he's on a boat.
The good news is I've already seen it multiple times.
Be careful on your Google. You're in the studio. I don't know. I don't want to get fouled up on what you're searching for over there on the Twitter machine and things like that. But just make sure your boss isn't looking over your shoulder. So the video, he's on a boat. He's living his life.
Yes.
And I get that the athletes, they have a right to be able to relax.
The timing of the video is not great considering what's going on in the NFL currently, but
not great. And I'm going to paraphrase the video here and say that he's on a boat with a lot of people, and they're partying, and there's a baggie that comes out.
Yes.
What's in it? I don't know what it is.
That's the question. That's the biggest question mark.
I wasn't there. That's my wife. I was not there. I don't know what it was.
Whatever it is, he was passing it out.
I thought it was power bait. I thought he was out there fishing for some trout, and a little pink power bait. It works for all of us. But
you can say that, but whatever it was, he was passing it out like it was Skittles.
And now we get to where he's at in New England. So, like, Mike Vrabel was asked about it. He said, the standard line, right? We're going to gather more information. And that's the thing, Tyvis. And I'll fully admit, I think that gets to a dicey spot, where you're going to accuse him. You don't know what it was. He hasn't, to my knowledge at this point, failed any drug tests or anything like that. He's not there because it's voluntary time. But now the questions are starting to come up about what New England, if they want to do anything. And, like, this is a guy that, again, he's been a good player. He's coming off the injury. I don't think anybody can be surprised by this. And I'm not saying that he was doing anything wrong, because I don't know what he was doing or what he was not doing. To your point on the optics and the bad look of it, like, I get that it's New England. It's not Bill Belichick per se anymore, but also, like, Belichick had guys that, were sometimes hard to deal with, or it's just more about, you and I both know Gerard Cherry, and Gerard's up here in Cleveland, and he played for Bill, and he kind of was like, dude, Bill only cared if you showed up and did your job and played the game the way it was supposed to. He didn't get on people about what their uniform was or wearing jewelry and that. He goes, As long as you showed him you were professional about your job, that's all I really cared about. And it's like it's a new wave there in New England, but it is Vrabel who played for him and trying to build that same thing out. Tyvis, I want to get your thoughts on that as like a former player. Are you, if you were on that team in that locker room, and even if you were at voluntary OTAs and you're sitting there like, dude, I'm practicing, you're out there doing that, or is it, hey, we don't want to question what guys do on their free time, you know?
It's one of those things that, one, I understand that it's OTAs and it's voluntary. I would say that Stefon Diggs has been in this league for many, many years, so he knows what it takes to get his body right and ready to go. I will say that this is a guy that's coming off an ACL injury, so I don't know how much he could do. It's not like I don't think he's cleared enough to be out there and playing football. Like, I know that you've seen videos him working out and, running routes and things like that, but I don't know if he's quite cleared enough that he can go and do 7-on-7 or he could do 11-on-11 team reps and things like that. I get the fact that you want him around the team because you want to build you know the word. I can't say it. Camaraderie. Gotcha. You want him to build those up with the team and, you get reps with the quarterbacks with Drake May and things like that so they can be clicking on all cylinders. But I just don't know if he's ready for that yet. So I don't have a problem with him not being there. Now, if he was 100% cleared and ready to play, then, yeah, okay, you need to be here because this is a new playbook. This is a new team. This is a new system. You need to get adjusted. But if he's not cleared to do football activities as far as 11-on-11 and 7-on-7, then there's no point in him being there for that.
And it's like they kind of, again, like you kind of knew what you were maybe going to get with Stefon Diggs and know that he is out there and he's allegedly dating Cardi B and she was there. She was on the boat. Like, he's out there, man. He lives that life. Okay, that's all good. Is he, like I said, as long as he's getting his workout back in, as long as he's getting the treatment that he needs on that knee to come back and he's ready to go, I'm sure the Patriots will be fine. And then again, if he can get out there and produce, they need it bad.
Yeah,
they need it bad.
That's the thing. The only thing is, as a teammate, what I would say is when game one of the season comes around, you better be ready to go. If you not, then we're going to point back at this right here. So for him, he better make sure game one he go for over 100 yards because if he doesn't and he gets locked down or he looks like he ain't got it or he start having temper tantrums, everybody's going to point back to while we was out here working, you was on the boat partying.
That's where it is. All right, so we got a release yesterday of another trailer for Happy Gilmore 2. And it's exciting. We saw the golfers in there. One of them just won the Memorial and Scotty Scheffler. Can it actually live up to the first one? And then, honestly, Tyvis, this gets me off into another conversation because there was another release of another trailer yesterday I'm very excited about. What I'm not excited about is how they are releasing episodes. The world that we live in the streaming and the episode release schedule for this show, it drives me up all. We got to discuss it. We'll get to all of it coming up. T-Bone and Tyvis this morning with you on 97.1, The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We are still closely monitoring a crash just north of Dublin here. Riverside Drive from Emerald Parkway to John Shields is the area we're looking at here. Both northbound lanes, though, are now open. One southbound lane remains closed at this time as police and fire are still on the scene investigating the crash. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Did you want information on the Ohio Lottery's Easy Play games? Okay. Easy Play games have everything needed to play printed on the ticket, so you never wait for a drawing. And with Easy Play Progressive games, they can instantly win the game's jackpot, which oftentimes grow and grow to over $1 million. All lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly. Want another commercial? Okay.
Bob Yoakum, president of Rockford Homes, talks about what makes First Bank of Central Ohio different.
I would say it starts by caring. It starts by doing what you say you're going to do and following through on it. When you're talking about local, you're talking about relationships and people that matter to you. I don't care if that's personally or professionally.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus and save $40 on any repair of $150 or more. Only at AAA Car Care Plus locations. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer valid through June 30th. See store for details.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a room of rejected mascot memorabilia. Is it real? No one knows. But we do know NJM is proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
We've discovered the perfect morning ritual, the 2 for $6 breakfast sandwich deal at Tim Hortons. Every sandwich is made to order with a freshly cracked egg and melty cheese, just the way breakfast should be. Choose between savory sausage or hickory smoked bacon, served on a toasted English muffin or flaky biscuit. There's no wrong way to mix and match this tasty deal. 2 breakfast sandwiches, just $6. Perfect. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, single item at regular menu price. Modifications and tax extra. Exclusions and additional terms apply.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Your home for football, food, and fun. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Tyvis, where are you at on Happy Gilmore 2? So, I think we've all loved Happy Gilmore, the first one. They're remaking it. They're putting all of these golfers. We get another trailer, and it's going to get me out to something else that's going to bother me, talking about the current state of movies and TV. Welcome back. T-Bone to Tyvis. Tyvis Powell. I'm Matt Fontana for T-Bone. I actually... Dude, I wanted to hate on this movie, because I'm like, why are we they're just listen, man, I love the Jurassic Park series. I don't need a 6th or 7th Jurassic Park. They're going back to the island with dinosaurs. Maybe a bad idea, okay? Mm-hmm. We've seen it. But Happy Gilmore, we loved it. Of all the Adam Sandler comedies of the 90s, of, sports movies, one of the best golf movies of all time. Dude, I wanted to hate on it. And I got to tell you, it's wearing me down. And I actually think it's going to be good because they're going to take it to that funny, weird place again. But I just see all of the golfers, Scotty Scheffler's in it, Colin Morikawa, Bryson, and Brooks, and Xander Schauffele, and Rory. Everybody that you could almost ask for is in. I'm wondering, too, if we're going to get a Tiger cameo, and they're just not going to let that out yet. Yeah. I'd love to see that. But... they're actually wearing me down a little bit, and I'm intrigued. I was always going to see it, but now I actually am going to put a little stock behind it. I actually think
so. You're going to watch it on the first day it come out.
It. Yeah,
I think I'm with you when it comes to certain movies, movies that I've seen at a young age or early teens. I feel like if it's that good, don't touch it. It don't need a sequel because usually when you do a 2 or 3, it's never as good as the original. So I'll be like, don't do it. Like, for example, Coming to America. When they came out with Coming to America too, it's like, why? Why didn't you do that? Like, it was fine. You didn't need to go and do a Coming to America too, because it's never going to live up to what the first one was. Same thing I feel about Happy Gilmore, where it's like, to me, it didn't even end on a way where you should be able to have a 2. Like,
we got it. Like, nobody wanted to see Chubbs go the way that he did. Spoiler alert. It's been out for this thing. The Gap is so good. You're talking about Coming from America too. Like, dude, almost 30 years later. But like, we got our ending. You drive off. What I really think. You wanted my theory on this Happy Gilmore thing? It's this resurgence of Shooter McGavin. Right? Mm-hmm. Where there's an account, which, by the way, I think the guy that runs that account lives in the state of Ohio, by the way. And it's this super popular Twitter account where he'll comment on things through the lens of, like, Shooter McGavin, and he always does the pistols, and everybody laughs. Like, but even Christopher McDonald, who is the actor that played Shooter McGavin, there's stories of him. He's at golf tournaments, and he acts like he's Shooter. I actually think that's what got the ball rolling on this whole thing, was everybody wanted to follow up, not necessarily about Happy. They wanted to follow up to what happened to Shooter McGavin after he lost the jacket and got beat up by Mr. Larson in the parking lot.
Yeah, and I see that they got him back on the new Mr. Larson in the parking lot. But he seems like he slimmed down a lot. So that's oh, man, I can't remember his name. It's Boban, the basketball player. Yeah.
Yeah, they got it because, like, Richard Kiel, he passed away. He was the guy that played Mr. Larson in Jaws in the one James Bond movie. But they got Boban to do it. Yeah, doesn't he look like? I can't wait. That's another thing. I want to know.
He looks very similar to him, but obviously he's not as big, which is crazy because Boban is pretty
huge.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that he looks as skinny as he did in that trailer. I only seen the trailer the one time. I got to go back and look at it again.
That's
but
fair.
It definitely it's an interesting storyline for what it is. It looks like he's trying to win money for his daughter to go do something like ballet or something.
It's kind of the same thing. Like, he gets pulled back out. It's like the first one was he had to save Grandma's house. Now he's back to trying to make this after being a long drive guy or something like that. I'm in. They sucked him back in. All right, Tyvis, one other thing I had sucked into. I love Stranger Things. Okay. And I love it. Bro, I feel
like they take years to...
It's taken years. They've pushed it back. And now I can't even binge watch it because they're releasing Volume 1, which is like a few episodes.
Per week.
Not even that, bro. It's like the first couple. Then I got to wait a month.
Oh, this is
for the next.
It's like Squid Games.
That's probably. I haven't seen. I'm assuming it's the same way. Here's the schedule for Stranger Things. Volume 1, which again sounds like it's gonna be like 3 episodes. November 26th, basically Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. Then I have to wait until Christmas for Volume 2, and then the finale won't be until New Year's Eve. Now, this sounds like it would be on TV, right? Where, like, the episodes come out and everybody sit around the TV and we watch it.
This is, Netflix or Hulu?
It is, dude. I'm going to have that. I'm going to have it watched in the first 3. I'm going to watch every episode in 3 hours. Then I'm going to have to sit there and wait for a month.
Well, you got to change it. You got to watch it once a week.
Oh, I don't know if I can do it, man. It's like,
you better just wait until it all come out.
I don't have self-control, bro. I don't. And it's like, I'm going to sit there and, like, as soon as that episode ends, they go, do you just want to
continue the next one?
Exactly. And you're like, ugh.
Well, these shows do a really good job of, it can be born. The show could be an hour. It could be born for 52 minutes. That last 8 minutes is so good that you be like, I gotta know. I can't wait. Like, I have to know what happens. And you end up hitting continue. And next thing you know, you've been watching this show for about 5 hours.
Watching? You're like, what time is it? You're like, I'm ready to go. And you and I both came from an era, right? There wasn't that. We had to sit there and go to the TV Guide channel.
Yeah.
And you needed to wait for it to scroll back around to
see what was coming up next.
Exactly. What the next episode. Like, dude, I watched that show. It was only on Wednesday nights, and I needed to wait. There was no DVR.
Yeah.
If I missed that episode, I'm out. I'm done. Now, I guess that's my whole argument is, like, we have the technology. We're here now. Why can't I enjoy this? If all the episodes are out and they're ready to go, Like, just let them go so I can watch them. You know what they want? They want you to sign up for Netflix for 3 months. That's what they want, because you got to get it for November, then you got to get it for December. You got to watch it again.
I mean, it's a smart play.
I
can't even. I'm gonna tell you, the show that's really messed it up is Euphoria. If you ever watch Euphoria, like it's been. I'd say it's been like 3 years since they've dropped the season. I think it's finally coming out. I want to say maybe this month, this month or next month. And it's just like, it's been so long. And unfortunately, a lot of characters have passed away in real life. So it's like, do I even want to watch this? Do I even want to watch the show anymore?
Or now what you got to do is you're like, I got to go back and rewatch. It's been so long.
Oh, them
them
recaps is everything at the beginning of the show.
Those are nice. I'll give you that. I like it. We're watching Severance right now. So at the beginning, you want the recap? And I'm like, yes, I do. I definitely need that. All right, I want to recap some of the topics we talked about earlier in the show about the SEC and the Big Ten kind of leading the charge here for college football and the duty that they have for the other conferences to help them out with it. We'll discuss it. T-Bone and Tyvis here on 97.1 The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Monday. We are noticing a crash that just opened up US 33 westbound beyond Bowen Road over in the Canal Winchester area. Left shoulder was blocked in the area. Again, just reopened not too long ago, but we are still noticing some big delays, especially by Gender Road there. So make sure you take it nice and easy as you head up towards the metro. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by RCD RV Supercenter in Heath, Delaware, and Pataskala, or at rcdrv.com.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, I got the nicest Google review today. Dewey from Gahanna said, "We cannot believe we are able to get the Pella look and quality at the cost we did."
I got a review too. Listen to this. These windows were great. Oh boy. For about a year. Looks like I'll need to renew, in quotes for some reason, my windows way too soon. Repeat customer?
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I'm one of the at-home coaches with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Honestly, I think the thing I hear the most is I didn't realize how easy it was. That first weekly they come in, they're like, oh my gosh, I already noticed that I'm not as bloated in my face or in my abdomen, or I've been sleeping better. I've been waking up with so much more energy. I don't need my coffee throughout the day. They're coming in a month or two later and they're like, hey, like my doctor said I need to lower my meds. I'm losing a ton of inches on my waist. I'm buying new pant sizes. And we're looking at the scale and we're like, yeah, your visceral fat's down again. That's fantastic. And we're celebrating all of these wins. And then we talk about, okay, next step, let's talk about how to maintain it. This isn't over. This is just the next stage. That's what your health coach is there for.
Thanks, Mandy. This is Scotty Vegas. Easy weight loss with results that actually last. With Awaken 180 Weight Loss, you will succeed and you'll enjoy the process. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
This summer, elevate your backyard barbecue game with Napoleon Grills from Billiards Plus in Dublin. Experience the power of Napoleon's infrared sizzle zone, reaching up to 1,800 degrees in just 30 seconds for that perfect steakhouse sear. Stay connected with the Napoleon Home app. Monitor up to 3 temperature probes, all from your smartphone. Built to last with premium steel, the grilling season never ends with Napoleon Grills from Billiards Plus. Visit Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin and transform your patio into a gourmet grilling paradise.
Don't settle for ordinary this summer when adventure awaits. Make memories that will last forever only at your Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, Central Ohio's family destination for fun. Plan your perfect summer trip at columbuszoo.org.
Hey, it's Bobby Carper. Everybody today in America is trying to get healthy. I'm doing it, you're doing it. There's people out there everywhere. And most people, they don't feel good. And so when you don't feel good, what do? You go to the doctor, there's pills, there's steroids, there's surgery. You don't want to deal with any of that. You don't want to be put on the shelf. You don't want to put things in your body that you do not enjoy.
So here's what you need to do. Go see my friends at QC Kinetics, just like I did. My body was beaten up, so was my dad's. We went to QC Kinetics. They're not into the quick fixes. They're going to go there and they're going to diagnose you and find regenerative treatments with your own body's healing power to help heal that damaged tissue. And so you're going to feel better. You're going to be able to do the things you'll love again, and that's perfect because it's summertime. So listen, they're going to go right to the source of it at the cellular level. So give them a call at 380-208-4544 or go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. They have offices all over Ohio. So go check them out today.
Evan Cohen here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows. Binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on the warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take your shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5heshot.com for full details and rules and to enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025. You've probably heard of speed dating, but what if there was something similar for hiring, especially if you're running a growing business? There is Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You can post your job today and talk to interested qualified candidates tomorrow. Simply select a time, and Zip Intro finds and schedules qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you'd like to connect with and meet and greet people through back-to-back video calls starting as soon as the next day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. Death, Texas, and Scotty Scheffler winning a golf tournament over the weekend. Scheffler finished at 10 under par and 4 strokes ahead of Ben Griffin as he wins the Memorial Tournament for a second straight year. Scheffler now has 16 PGA Tour victories since 2021. In baseball, Gavin Williams threw 6 2/3 scoreless innings. Jose Ramirez hit a solo shot as part of a 3-run fourth, and the Guardians beat the LA Angels 4-2 on Sunday afternoon at Progressive Field. Cleveland takes 2 out of the 3-game set against LA. They'll be off today on this Monday before they begin a 3-game series in the Bronx tomorrow night. Meanwhile, at Wrigley Field, Nick Martinez got tagged for 5 runs in less than 5 innings, and the Cubs beat the Reds 7-3. Chicago takes 2 out of that 3-game set over the weekend. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or check him out online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Breaking sports news. What happens right here on The Fan.
The only contraband hiding in Tyvis's butt cheeks is a Kit Kat bar. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
I don't know if I can follow that one up. We were talking about things that I don't do that T-Bone doesn't. That was all Tyvis. He's here this week. I'm at Fontana, filling in for T-Bone this week here at 97.1 The Fan. So we've been talking a lot about the state of college football. And Tyvis, I didn't even get a chance to ask you this morning. We were talking about this earlier. Do you think it's in a good spot right now? Like, with all this change, with all this discussion, like, at the end of the day, as a former player, national champion, all that, like, do you really sit there and feel like we're in a pretty good spot when it comes to college football?
At first, I was against the CFP expanding to 12 teams, but I definitely thought it brought more excitement to it. I think more people, I don't know if it was maybe because it was the first year, but I thought hosting those first round of those playoff games on those college campuses and seeing those fans interact and the atmosphere and the energy, it was like that is exactly what college football is supposed to be right there. So I thought that they did a really good job. I know that a lot of the scores might have not been, or the games hadn't been interesting as people wanted them to be. But as far as atmosphere and people coming out to watch it and loving what they saw, unless your team was losing, I thought they did a really good job with that. So I have no problem with the 12 teams. I think that they overdoing it with 16, but I get it. I get it. It's making a lot of money, so I understand it. But 12 right now is fine.
And off of that, we are going to usher in that new era of 16 before you know it, and the changes that'll come with that with the automatic qualifier. So we're bringing it up because Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark was speaking on Friday, and it sounds like the push that he's making, because he reiterated his support of the 5 automatic qualifiers, each of the conferences, not necessarily the champion, but sounds more a lot the champion. You don't get an automatic bye. There won't be any byes. But the 5 plus 11 versus the other model of handing out 4 to the Big 12, or excuse me, to the Big 10 and 4 to the SEC and then 2 each for there. And you actually flip it. where it's more of like 12 or 11 automatic qualifiers with the 5 at large. But Yormark coming out with his comments basically saying that the Big Ten and the SEC are going to be the ones that are pushing for this because they have the most power, and it's more of like, just do the ACC and the Big 12 right. And I think that a step in the positive direction is this, that the ACC and the Big 12, they don't have some crazy idea of where they're at in the pecking order. You know what I mean? It's not like they're sitting there saying, hey, this should be equal or we should get the same. Like, they know where they're at. And I think that's why these conferences have so much of this power. And Tyvis, I just wonder, man, if we're not talking in a couple of years of these teams just saying, we don't need you, the NCAA, anymore. We're going to go off and do our own little thing here. We got the TV money, the revenue. I just don't know how that's going to play of not being able to compete for a national championship and how different that'll be. But I think they're pretty aligned in all this, and it starts maybe with the ACC and the Big 12 kind of sliding in right behind the Big 10 and the SEC. Get one for the group of 5, help out Notre Dame as your independent. But I really think they're in an all right spot to kind of figure out what the next version of college football is going to be.
Yeah, I think that, honestly, what needs to happen is the ACC, a team from the ACC and a team from the Big 12 need to find a way to win a national championship in the next few years, because let's say that it keeps going back and forth. Let's say the SEC and the Big 10 are the only 2 teams that continuously win national championships. So let's say 10 years go by, and let's say it's 5-5. Big 10's won 5, SEC's won 5. Well, then they'll look at it like, what's the point of us playing these other teams if we know that we're the 2 best conferences? We might as well branch off and do our own thing and just put together both leagues, make one big super league, and the winner of that is the national champion. And obviously, you know, teams like the ACC or teams from the Big 12 or even a Notre Dame, I think they probably invite Notre Dame to the party. Yeah. But they'll feel left out, but you wouldn't be able to argue like that would be wrong if those 2 conferences decided to do that. I'm not justifying and saying that they should do that because I like the way things are now, but they could absolutely say, like, dude, we're the best 2 conferences. We're going to win the national championship if we stay with this regular format. We can make more money just by us being in a league of our own. It will get way more views. We'll dominate Saturdays, and we could just crown the champion that way.
I got another one for you, though. What if they do that? Let the NCAA keep their thing, and then you get your own Super Bowl. You get the winner. Now, again, that could play out that it's like a stacked Ohio State team versus Arizona State, or, you know, something like that. It might not have quite all the everything you'd want it to be hyped up to. But, yeah, what if they broke away and said, we're going to crown our own little champion. NCAA, if you want to stick around, you can crown your own champion, and then we'll play one more game to figure that all out. That would be an interesting way to take that. But, yeah, I mean, I think the 16 model, which we're going to go to, and what they are pushing for is just the one automatic qualifier from each conference, knowing that if you do it that way, then you have 11 other spots that you can fill out the right way for all the rest of the teams. We talked about Alabama, right, where it was everything was with them. They don't lose that Vanderbilt team, and you're probably in it, right? You don't have much to complain about. So for Greg Sankey to sit there as the SEC commissioner and want to fight for more automatic qualifiers because that's in the best interest of his league and his teams and his money and his pockets and all that, you also got to be a realist and say, listen, you're not going to get 6 of the spots in this. You're just not going to have that much. I think we're going to always balance between 3 to 4 between the Big 10 and the SEC, and that's plenty, and that's half the field almost, or will be if they, 16, it will be half the field. I think that's fair. In maybe extreme rare situations, you'll get 5, but you got to deserve that. And they'll open it up, and like the battle we were talking about earlier, is the 3rd best ACC team better than the 5th or 6th best Big 10 team? I don't know. Look at the schedules. Who they play? That's going to put more on these schools, which it was an interesting article. I didn't know if we are going to bring up on the show, but now's as good a time as any about the narrative that this is going to kill the regular season. And the article made the point that the Ohio State's national championship from a year ago shows that the Big Ten regular season, that the regular season in college football does not mean very much. And I push back on that. I don't agree with that because I thought Ohio State frankly got seeded properly because of a close Oregon loss of, when kicked field goal, Will Howard, all that, you never know. And then just your appalling loss to Michigan, which you shouldn't have had.
Yeah.
But they were still deserving to make it. You gave them, I guess, a bit of a, remember we were talking about this, a hard path.
Yeah, probably the toughest path.
Absolutely, and they did it, and they still went and won the national championship. I don't think you can look at the regular season and say it doesn't matter because you put all these, I won't say roadblocks up, but you seeded them properly and gave them a really tough path, and they just happened to go win it. I'm sure if you talk to Ryan Day, I know the stats didn't tell you that, they'd rather had the bye. They probably would have been rather sitting where Oregon was sitting with the bye. Ohio State, they were just a better team. And I felt that when they played them back in what was that, September? When they were in Eugene. And I felt the same when they played them in the playoff. They were the better team, and the better team won the national championship. I'm not going to complain about that.
No, I wouldn't say that the regular season is meaningless in college football. I get the fans from the older, like my era, where it's like you have to be perfect. It made every Saturday game very important. It's room for error now. That's all it is. If you lose a game, it's not the end of the world. If you lose 2 games, it's still not the end of the world. But I think that when it comes to getting these 12 teams, like I just have a hard time saying that they didn't get it right. I
agree.
Like when you look at the top 12 teams that you wanted that deserved to be in, it was the right 12. So if they're going to do that every time, I don't have an issue with it. I just personally think that there's only 5 to 6 teams every year, anyways, that can win it all. And as long as those 5 or 6 is in there, they're going to dominate the other 6 because that's why they didn't need to go to 12 to begin with.
I agree with you. And it's also, now you may be a little more free to get the big out-of-conference games. You're getting Ohio State, Texas in years past where you're like, we can really kind of...
they'd have called that off.
They'd have called that off, and trust me, the time of that game and all that stuff. But it's also like, if you look at Ohio State's Big Ten schedule on who they drew in the Big Ten, not... Again, I say that now. Watch this clip getting thrown back to my face coming up this fall. But it's like it should be a pretty favorable schedule for Ohio State on who they're playing and who they're not. They still have tough games. You always will because you're in the Big Ten. But they're helped out pretty good on that side of things. So it frees you up to allow your big out-of-conference games for big money and fans and everybody to enjoy that. Start time be damned. But still, you're allowed to do that because of how things are set up currently. Well, speaking of setup, we could have history be made in the NFL potentially in week 1 and how Russell Wilson, who's not even playing for the Steelers, might have impacted who their starting quarterback is or not this offseason coming up. We'll get to all of it. T-Bone and Tyvis right here on 97.1 The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good Monday morning. If you are heading up from Grove City, you're looking pretty good for your commute. 30 miles per hour if you're taking 62 eastbound, 71 southbound looking great, and 270 eastbound, 70 miles per hour there looking fantastic. We are noticing some delays though if you're getting closer to the city. 71 at Green Lawn, that camera there, noticing some bumper to bumper traffic out there. No major accidents report in this area, just some congestion as you step out on the roads. I'm 10 TV's Brian Albizu with your fan traffic.
Spring showers revealing roofing or siding issues? Trust the pros at Newman Roofing for expert care, white glove service, and quality you can count on. Schedule your estimate today and take advantage of special financing options. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring is here and it's time to refresh your yard with Ohio Mulch. With 15 convenient locations in Central Ohio, it's easier than ever to get your mulch ready for the season. Need it delivered? No problem. Save $50 on home delivery when you order online. Whether it's mulch, soil, or even stone, we've got your yard covered. Visit OhioMulch.com today and spruce up your garden with the best.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, greener, greener, better.
Hey, you. Wouldn't a Diet Coke at 7 a.m. totally hit? You know you can get that from Wendy's for just $1, right? Even you, girl drinking a Fanta on the way to 8 a.m. Pilates class. Any soda you want, any size, just $1. So go get that breakfast soda, you morning menace. But maybe hurry, because it's only during breakfast. Morning soda? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours. Exclusions apply. Not valid on a combo. Prices may be higher in Hawaii.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $2,000 off BX 2380 tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Stop by CEC Turf and Tractor in Athens, Canal, Winchester, Lancaster, or Toledo to see their full line of Kubota tractors and mowers, or check them out online at CECTurfandTractor.com.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm getting married today.
You may now kiss the bride.
I'm also a firefighter and first responder. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're also making sure I can get to my wedding ceremony to start the next chapter of my life.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Let's all give them room to work. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast, betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy New Week, everyone. We start off the morning with temperatures in the 40s, but don't worry, we warm up pretty quickly this afternoon into the mid to upper 70s with mostly sunny skies. We'll see mostly clear skies overnight with lows in the 50s and then even hotter on Tuesday as we climb into the mid 80s with plenty of sunshine, so don't forget the sunscreen. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
T-Bone and Tyvis is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
Every time Tyvis laughs, take a drink. Just kidding. You'd be dead in 30 seconds. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Drink a coffee. I'm in for that. I already got my nice iced coffee ready to roll this morning on T-Bone and Tyvis. Matt Fontana in for T-Bone. He is Tyvis. Pal, we have something that could be a historical game one in the NFL. We'll tell you what that is coming up. But, Tyvis, I know it's crazy, but it is. The NFL season will be here before you know it. I already got lines on some of these games. We got NBA Finals. We got it all. There's only one place to go to get those wagers in.
That's right. You got attention all Ohio sports fans ready to turn your passion into serious action. Prime Sportsbook Ohio is bringing you a massive welcome deposit match offer. Here's the deal. You deposit $400 and they will give you $400. They will match your deposit 100%. That's up to $400 in bonus bets. But you can use these bets at any time. So as you were talking about, you got NFL lines that you want. You want to bet on who's going and where in the NBA draft. If, the championship basketball starts Thursday. If you deposit now, you can use this now all the way up until the end of the year. This is for first-time deposits only, and it can expire anytime. So hurry and deposit and download the Prime Sports Ohio or visit primesportsbook.com to get started. Betting reduced juice. It literally costs less to bet with Prime Sports Ohio. Want to bet? Download Prime Sports Ohio today. Additional terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and older and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Play responsibly.
Speaking of those week ones, we got the Steelers taking on the Jets. Steelers, 3-point favorite right now in that game. And that might change officially when Aaron Rodgers joins the Steelers. But Tyvis, here's the history that could be made. And this comes from Rich Cimini of ESPN.com. He covers the Jets. And he said if it actually turns out that Aaron Rodgers signs with the Steelers, which we all assume he will, and it'll be Rodgers v. Justin Fields, it would mark the first time in NFL history that the starting quarterbacks in each of those games were the starting quarterback for the other team week one the year prior. Of course, Justin Fields was in Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers was in with the Jets. So not only do you have the craziness that these two teams are matched up in week one, but that their quarterbacks basically flipped as soon as that. I hope Aaron Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh just for that, let alone the history. Like anything else, it's just, dude, make a little history and get there with the Steelers. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I wish that they would just put this to bed, man.
Know,
like
man.
this is ridiculous. Like just say, like at least verbally say you gonna go there, so we can just end this, because this whole I'm skipping OTAs and showing up for like it's too much of that. Like we need to get back to the days where like people took their craft seriously. You know that?
Yeah.
Like me, I was sitting there talking about yesterday how I tweeted I miss football, and somebody tweeted me back and said, so you telling me you miss summer camp? And the thing, yeah. As much as I hated camp, like I fell in love with the process. That's the thing. You cannot cheat the game of football. You got to do everything the correct way if you want to participate. If you want to ball on Sunday. And this whole I'm going to skip OTAs or I'm going to skip camp and think that I'm going to just show up and have the best season of my life. Like, it's just, it doesn't work like that. So we need to get back to where people start respecting the game again, man. And if you're supposed to be there with your guys and go through all of that, because that builds chemistry. And when it gets down to those fourth quarters, you think about those memories that you had, those tough days, those hot summer days that you didn't really want to do it, but you put in the work. Like, that's when those things come to light. And Aaron Rodgers is really cheating the game right now.
And I think it's so interesting, Tyvis, that you're right. And actually, I had this conversation with somebody about that. They go, well, he's been doing this so long. And I go, yeah, doesn't he, like, he's 40. He needs to be there maybe more now than he did when he was 23. You know what I'm saying? Like, as the game gets going, and I get that he knows how to read defenses, right? There's not been a defense that's been thrown at Aaron Rodgers that he hasn't seen before, right? He's thrown touchdowns on almost every defender in the game at this point. I get it. But it's like at this point, this stage of his career, this might even be more important that he's there with a new team. Has he ever thrown passes to DK Metcalf before? Probably not. And he's there now. Like, that's got, I guess, the excitement, too, to be like, dude, the Steelers have actually made some big moves this offseason and feel like you are the missing piece. Like, I would think you would want to be there and be a part of it. Now, another interesting story of this whole thing is who isn't in Pittsburgh. Because Albert Breer, MMQB-SI, he was on Bill Simmons' podcast, and he gave a little theory that potentially Russell Wilson had a hand in the Steelers not wanting to draft Shedeur Sanders. And I'm going to paraphrase kind of what Breer brought up, but he said, I think people would tell you the Russell Wilson thing undermined so many things in the last month of the season. And a lot of that building really wanted to go back to Justin Fields. So again, remember how the Pittsburgh season went. Started with Fields because Wilson was hurt. The idea that maybe they promised Russell Wilson that he would start at some point, and Fields was playing fine and they were winning games. They go to Russell Wilson. He wins some games, but then they just completely fall off a cliff, and it's just no good. And Breer says he kind of thinks that that's part of the reason Tomlin liked Shedeur in the draft, but they didn't maybe want to press that button again of going down a path of, should we start this guy versus not starting this guy? And I don't want to say deal with the hype because, like, we cover the Browns. We talk about the Browns a lot, and Shador's up here. And I would say, to this point, Tyvis, he's been fine. He's a rookie trying to, even as a fifth-round pick, make the team and develop and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's interesting that Breer would bring that up, that Pittsburgh dealing with everything they did last year with Russell Wilson might have impacted them not taking Shador Sanders, because the Steelers are in no position to be wishing away quarterbacks. Like, we're a long way removed from Ben playing for them, and they ran through Kenny Pickett, and now they're Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and now they're going to try this Aaron Rodgers thing for maybe a year. I doubt he's going to play there again next year. I think he'll finally end up retiring. But bro, if they thought Shador's worth it, that seems like not a smart thing to be doing there for the Steelers.
I think it's interesting because I remember Ryan Clark saying that I'm looking at the quote right now. He said, "Here's what I can tell you about this draft. If Shador, if he would have fallen to the 7th round, the Steelers were not drafting Shador Sanders." Now, I don't know where he got this information from, but clearly there was something there. I mean, I don't think he would go on and just say this. I think he was on First Take when he said this. I don't think he would just put his name out there and not have some source behind it. So the thing is, it's interesting because if you asked Pittsburgh Steelers fans, who would you rather have? Would you rather them have Aaron Rodgers this year, or would you rather them have Will Howard? Let them play Will Howard at some point.
Sure,
and it's like, well, I'd probably rather them play Will Howard because you're only going to have Aaron Rodgers for 1 year. It's just a Band-Aid. So to me, let's just go ahead and just get him reps now. And obviously he's not there's no telling what Will Howard might do. Will Howard might go out there and play some really good football and allow them to be really good, but he's a rookie. He's going to struggle at some point. But you might as well get that out now if you feel like this guy can be your franchise guy moving forward. So then next year and years after that, he's got, experience under his belt, and we're not having this conversation.
And I also look at it to say you're, in a way, signing up for the same thing. Like, I would assume they got to promise Aaron Rodgers something. And granted, there's no other spots for him to go. Like, I don't think he's going to New Orleans.
Well, he said he's not going to New Orleans.
Yeah, he already said. He's like, I ain't going to the Saints.
At this point, it's either Steelers or retirement.
Or, like, maybe that Minnesota theory, which I never
he
really
ain't going to Minnesota. That's a first-round pick quarterback that that has to get on the field at some point.
Yeah.
His options is retire, play for Pittsburgh, or wait for some starting quarterback to get hurt.
That's a good point, too. And I don't think he wants to do any. Like, you have an opening job right here. But again, like, when he sat down with Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin, did they sit there and, like, wink, wink, nod, nod, like, this is your job, even if the wheels completely fall off, like, we're losing games, we're all in with you, or I guess even at that point, halfway through a season, like, Aaron Rodgers have to understand, like, maybe they do need to put Will Howard in there, but at least to start, it would have to be Rodgers all the way, which, again, to your point, like, he's not there at camp. They don't know what he looks like. They don't know how he's looking and throwing and all of that. Like, again, there's a reason. The Steelers don't have any other options either. What are they going to do now? Go get Kirk Cousins and pay all that money to bring him in?
That is, like, I think that's their plan B. If he decides not to sign there, I think their plan B is to trade for Kirk Cousins, which I don't know what you're getting out of him. It's sad because all these quarterbacks are just falling off. Russell Wilson, he looked good in the first couple of games, and then he fell off a cliff. Kirk Cousins last year, he had a game where he had, I think he threw for about 500 yards in the game last year, and then boom, he fall off a cliff. It's just all these quarterbacks that's up there in age, you'll get some good moments, but you have to have a young guy that's ready to go because unfortunately, not all these guys aren't Tom Brady. They're not going to play at 40 and just still look dominant at 40. And it was even times where Tom Brady struggled sometimes when he got older. So you have to have the backup plan no matter what you do. So if they're going to get Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph or Will Howard has to be ready to play at some point this year because he's going to fall off a cliff.
Oh, for sure. And you're just going to try to capture as much as you can. But if you were talking about a team with T.J. Watt and with that defense, and if you can get the run game going, they bring in DK Metcalf. You don't need so much.
Isn't Cam Hayward the one that went on a podcast and said, like, what is all this playing around? Either you going to play or you not. So, that's the thing, too. Like, you keep messing around with this, like, people in the locker room is going to get frustrated. Like, dude, like, why you playing with our emotions? You either going to play here or you not.
And this is a crazy theory, but follow me for a second. What if Will Howard keeps impressing or Mason Rudolph. They're there every day. And what if that little, back of the head idea, you're like, maybe we could just run with one of these guys. Maybe to your point, the players start thinking that, snowball starts falling down that hill, and all of a sudden, they don't even need it. I doubt that.
Well, that's the thing. The longer he stay away, the more other guys will start to look good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of looking good, some of the GMs in the NFL, most concerning, but also the most promising NFL general manager list. We got a couple on each side. I want to get Tyvis' thoughts if somebody should be flipped. Should somebody be on the promising side when they're on the concerning side? And I got a concerning thing about our society. Because there's been a new feature added to the dating world. I'll tell you what it is and why I just think we are maybe doomed as a society. Tyvis and I thankfully don't have to worry about this anymore, but for all the people out there entering the dating world, got some bad news for you. I'll tell you what it is next. This is T-Bone and Tyvis on 97.1 The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Well, all roads leading into the metro are looking pretty fantastic for your Monday commute. We are noticing a little bit of congestion in some areas, though, particularly just south of Whitehall. Our cameras I-70 at east of Bryce Road, noticing some bumper-to-bumper traffic out there. No major accidents to report in this area. Just some congestion as you're stepping out on the roads this morning. Just be well aware as you step out the door. I'm 10 TV's Breen Albizu with your fan traffic.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 6-packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
T-Bone and Tyvis is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Sign up today at awaken180weightloss.com.
2 men with 5 combined offspring. None of them have penises. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Another thing doesn't fit. I have a boy. I have a boy and a girl. So the girl dad gang here.
Yes.
Right? That's what it is. Again, I have a daughter. She's 2. She's upstairs. I'm sure you'll hear her sometime. I was thinking about it so much time. It's because, I'm here at home doing the show, and I'm so happy to do it. But, God bless my wife because she's got to get the kids out and get them to school. And I was just waiting. I'm like, it's going to happen this week. We somehow have made it mostly through the show without it happening. You're going to hear the scream. It's just my kids. It's what they do. My daughter's the perfect alarm, man. Somebody's like, oh, you got to wake up early to do the show. I'm like, I'll be ready. She's got this 5 o'clock thing in her. She's up. She's at it. She's ready to go. So
yeah.
I'm part of the girl dad crew here, but I also have a son. So, again, that promo doesn't really fit.
Well, you broke that promo. There you go.
Yeah. So I think we're batting I don't know. Every promo we talk about with T-Bone and Tyvis, it's I think I got about 3 I fit and about 5 that I don't. So we'll just keep as the week goes on trying to find some that fit. Well, speaking of fitting, some GMs have fit right into their good spots on where they are in the NFL because Cody Benjamin put together a list and he put 5 on each side of the most promising NFL general managers and ones that should be the most concerned. So I want to talk to Tyvis about this list, and I'll get to the dating thing here coming up. I just think we have failed as a society, and I'll tell you what it is in a second. So here's his list in no particular order of the most promising GMs in the NFL. Brandon Beane of the Buffalo Bills, Brad Holmes of the Lions, which he might actually truly be number 1, Brett Veach of the Chiefs, Howie Roseman of the Eagles, and I just think about him so much about every time he steals somebody in the draft, I think it was this year you got Jahad Campbell, the linebacker out of Alabama. And everybody goes, how does he keep getting away with this? It's the line from Breaking Bad. I goes, how does he keep drafting steals late in the first round? But I think the genesis of this article is also on this list of promising is Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, who just signed an extension with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
And I think about those 5 teams, Tyvis, of the Bills, the Lions, the Chiefs, and the Eagles, and the Vikings. Which roster do you think you would take?
Bills, Chiefs, the Eagles have top to bottom the best roster in the NFL, so that's a slam dunk answer.
I thought about the Lions for a second, and I think there's
you
try to compare. I think Amon-Ra is probably better than any of the receivers
for
the Eagles.
No.
You like Devontae or
A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, according to PFF, A.J. Brown had the best wide receiver grade last year.
Yeah, I like A.J. Brown. I think I'd maybe lean Amon-Ra. Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs, I mean, you're going Saquon.
Yeah, you're splitting hairs there, even though Saquon did almost, he would have broken the record. I just want to say that. He would have broken the record this year.
Offensive line, Eagles, probably don't have a question on that.
Yeah.
Defensively, probably the Eagles.
Yeah.
But, Hutchinson being hurt, I think it's hard. They're two of the best. And I think the Chiefs, even with what they have built, they're aging out at some of those positions. You wonder how much Kelsey has left, but some of the defensive picks that Veach has made, even some of the wide receivers, I know Rashee Rice got hurt, but Worthy looks like to be an all right pick there, and they keep going along. I do think the Vikings are probably last on and even the Bills. I think the questions continue to be where is the help for Josh Allen? So I don't know about Brandon Beane being on this list of promise. I get it because they're a really good team, but you continue to ask the questions of who are the receivers, and they're going to have even more turnover there. They got Keon Coleman, okay, fine, but it's they've had that turnover on the offensive side of thing, and I don't think there's much help there for Buffalo. So I'm a little wonder why Brandon Beane might be on that list.
Because
they got a good team, which I get.
I think it's because of maybe they don't have the wide receivers, but James Cook is a really good
He's very good
running back. Dalton Kincaid is a really good tight end. He's been a good weapon for Josh Allen, and they've hit on the quarterback. I mean, that's the number one thing. They got arguably the second or third best quarterback in the NFL on their roster, and that counts for a lot because there's, as you know, the Browns are still trying to figure out who their franchise guy is. So when you look at it from an offensive standpoint, yes, they let Diggs go, and Coleman had some moments last year, but Khalil Shakur, this is a guy who nobody really knew about. He ended up having a really good season last year. So they just do a great job of, maybe they don't have the big name guys, but they still find ways to make them effective. And listen, they were 2 games out of the Super Bowl this past year. They're still in it all the time.
All right, concerned list. Here's 5 GMs that are on the concern list. Andrew Berry, Cleveland Browns.
Of course.
Chris Ballard of the Colts. Chris Greer of the Dolphins. Joe Shane of the New York Giants. Mickey Loomis of the New Orleans Saints. And by the way, I'll throw this one in. He put Omar Khan as a consideration for concern of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I think is interesting. Maybe about their quarterback spot. But give me those guys: Browns, Colts, Dolphins, Giants, and Saints. Which of those GMs would you be most concerned about their job status moving forward, Tyvis?
Oh, probably the Saints. Because the Saints are in a situation where I don't think they really can afford to pay anybody.
Their salary cap is bad.
Yeah, their salary cap is bad, but they have nothing to show for it. When you think about their offense, it's Kamara and Chris Olave, and Chris keeps getting the concussions. So really, it's just a Kamara, and that's, to me, that's alarming. Then on defense, you traded Marshawn Lattimore. And Cam Jordan is getting up there in age. The Honey Badger is not the Honey Badger like he used to be. So you're just paying a bunch of these veteran guys that aren't really producing at the high clip that they used to, and you're not drafting well. The young guys that you're drafting aren't really panning out or making the impact that you thought that they would. Like the Taysom Hill, think about that. They paid Taysom Hill over $100 million, and I don't even know what position he plays. He doesn't play. He's not your starting quarterback.
They're just he just does everything. Get him the ball.
But every year he has one game where he does really well, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So to me, I think they're from that standpoint where they just don't have a foundation, and it don't look like they gonna have a foundation for some years. He would be the one that I would be scared of the most.
You know, I look at Greer down there in Miami, too, because they're in a really, really bad spot with the salary cap. And gave all that money. You know, Jalen Ramsey, he doesn't even want to play there anymore. Tyreek Hill and all this other kind of stuff. And where are they? You know, they're struggling with, again, Tua seems, I hope, is over the health things. But, you know, that's a tough situation as well. You know, Barry, I think, is going to get the pass on the Watson thing. I don't think any of us really believe that it was him that pulled the trigger. He might have facilitated it, but... Mm-hmm. I think there's some things out there, and even what Jimmy Haslam has said about it. So I can't give him the pass, but this draft is going to be huge. You decided to trade back. You took Mason Graham, which I like that pick a lot. But this one is going to be, I think, the big prover because he's not hitting a lot of draft picks up there in Cleveland either.
No. His best pick thus far is JOK and hopefully DeJuan Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And outside of that, the free agents, you've made some all right trades, but like, where does it all count? And especially back to the quarterback thing of you decided that Dylan Gabriel was a guy that supposedly they couldn't go without having. Right? They had to have Dylan Gabriel coming out of that draft.
Took him, a round or two early,
right?
Just to make sure that they got him. So we'll see.
We'll find out.
We will see it. It ain't looking good at the moment.
No, and that's you go with Flacco because that's what you know. You brought Pickett in, which I've got my own theories on why Kenny Pickett's there, and I don't buy some of the stuff like, oh man, he's the favorite. They really wanted him. I go, they didn't have any quarterbacks.
Well, they hoping last year Sam Darnold. You hear the Sam Darnolds, the Geno Smith stories. You hope that maybe we can swing our bat at trying to do that with Kenny Pickett, who was a former first round pick. To me, that's the only thing I see out of it.
No, I agree with you, and that's and it's not a great situation to be in, which is certainly why you should be on the concerned side of things for Andrew Berry, and of course he is. All right, we got the buzzer. We're going to talk to one of the guys from Bishop and Friends coming up, and I'll tell you this dating thing because there's a new feature coming to online dating. They always say vanity is not a good thing. This is to the nth degree. I'll explain it all, and we'll discuss it coming up as we wrap things up. This is, of course, T-Bone and Tyvis on 97.1, The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good Monday morning. No major accidents or delays to report for your Monday commutes, but we are noticing a little bit of congestion, especially if you're making your way into the metro this morning. Over in the Powell-Worthington area, the 270 outer belt looking a little bit delayed this morning. Nothing too concerning, though. Over to the downtown area, if you're going through taking 70, we are noticing a little backups this morning as well. And over in Gahanna, the 270-670 split looking pretty good for your Monday morning. We'll take that. I'm 10 TV's Breen Albizu with your fan traffic.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Save big on everything for your next painting project when you shop at Menards. Pittsburgh's premier is an interior paint and primer in one that provides excellent all-around performance in an easy-to-clean, durable finish. Save big money on Pittsburgh's premier paint now at Menards. Plus, don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all our great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Swimming in debt? Save your summer with a debt consolidation loan from BMI Federal Credit Union. With rates as low as 8.99% APR, now is the perfect time to consolidate your debt. Visit bmifcu.org/consolidate for more details.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With TrueHold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. TrueHold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since TrueHold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit TrueHold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
Summer 2025 is bringing something wild to your Columbus Zoo. The all-new North America Trek opens this summer, a reimagined zoo region inspired by your national parks. Get ready to get up close with Mexican wolves, black bears, river otters, bald eagles, and more in breathtaking new habitats. Discover local wildlife and conservation in action like never before. Plan your visit today. Visit columbuszoo.org for details.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at the Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news, we fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on the Fan all season long. Yay, baseball!
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
One of these men is bald and fat. The other is T-Bone. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
We got Matt Fontana in this week, so happy to be alongside Tyvis Pal in for T-Bone. Of course, coming up, Bishop and Friends. Welcome in Ryan Baker. We'll hear him coming up as well with Bo. And Baker, I got to tell you this story, too, because I've been teasing it about a change that we've had in the dating world, the vanity of our society. But first, I'd ask you, how was the memorial? I know you guys were all out there. I'm sure you're going to recap Scotty's big win coming up on Bishop and Friends as well.
Yeah, it was a great time out at the memorial. I got to be out there Thursday afternoon, early evening for a bit. And then I was there for quite a bit of the morning and early afternoon yesterday. And, man, what a perfect day out at Muirfield yesterday. It was low 70s, a little bit of a breeze. It was just a perfect day weather-wise. Of course, Friday had the rain all day. And it was such a bad time. And there was a little bit of residual from that, some soft ground a little bit in the parking areas, too. Some people had to get towed, I guess, on Saturday out of there because some of those areas are just fields. And you could see some of those spots yesterday out there. But, gosh, you couldn't have asked for a better final round at the Memorial yesterday, weather-wise, than you got. And then, of course, just the dominance of Scotty Scheffler. This guy is there's been very few times in golf where we have seen someone be as dominant as he has here these past 3 years. I believe his 16 wins here have come in a span. It's like the fourth shortest span ever. And the guys on that list are like Sam Snead, Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus. So he's in some rarefied air here right now. Just need to get a couple more majors for Scotty.
You was around when Tiger was dominant.
Are you saying I'm old?
Yes.
Tyvis?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
I was too, babe. I was there too.
Would you say that this is the closest thing we've seen to this? Was it like this feeling for a guy like me who's never really, because I was young when Tiger was doing it?
So I think it's close. I think the only time since Tiger we've had a span, and it wasn't quite as long. You had that season and a half or 2 seasons of Jordan Spieth where you thought, here comes something. This guy is going to be the guy that's going to take the mantle. And then, of course, it kind of fell off a little bit for Spieth. I know there was a couple injuries. Things. He did okay. Yeah. But I would say this is the closest thing. And obviously, I don't think we're never going to get to Tiger. I think that was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And I also think part of the problem is Scottie Scheffler won $4 million winning the Memorial this weekend. He doesn't have to play golf the rest of the year, right? He doesn't have to play golf the rest of his life. I mean, quite frankly,
he will.
I don't know, Matt. I'm not sure if we're ever going to see someone with that killer mentality like Tiger Woods had ever again because of the money. Well, I don't know about you. I had to see about this, but I think these golfers make so much money now, it's hard for them to be in that mind space of focus and dominance all of the time like Tiger Woods has. I do think Scotty, though, is getting close. I love his comments this week about, I don't really think about what's going on. I just think about this week and this tournament and this golf course and what to do. And we're also seeing a little bit of when Tiger played people, they wilted under the pressure, and you're getting that a little bit with Scotty now.
For sure, and there's a funny story about Tiger. They said, Steve Williams, his old caddy, said there's only one thing that Tiger never did after a round. He never looked at the sheet that told you how much money he made. There's a little sheet when you go sign your scorecards, and it would tell you what place you finished was your payout. Steve Williams said, he goes, I never once saw Tiger look at that sheet, ever, because he didn't care. Because he only cared about if he won the tournament or not. And if he didn't, then he didn't, and he knew that, but he didn't care where the money was, which, to your point, Bake, about the rest of these guys, like, it's just about – and the unfortunate thing is it's always going to be, like, chasing Tiger of being that guy, but we'll see. All right, I got to get to this quick story because I've been teasing. I want to tell you guys about this. So Tinder. I've never been on it. It's a little beyond my time. My wife and I have been together too long, so I'm off it.
I was on it for a cup of tea in college, a cup of tea.
Would you have filtered by height? Tyvis, because the new feature on Tinder, it's not just about location, it's not just about who you're looking for, it's you can now have a height filter to search if you only want 6 foot and above, or if you're more of the what do they call the short king season or whatever you want to call it. I don't know how it goes. It's out of my game. And there are people that are upset by this because they're saying you should, and it's like, well, if you're filling out a dating profile, I guess people can lie on pictures, right, guys? But it's like, I get you can lie on your height.
You can lie on your height until
you get to the date.
Yeah, but at that point, you already committed. Now, you might as well stay and have dinner now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it might work out.
I think that first of all, it's unnecessary. I think the problem is that everybody, it's this social media. Let me sound like the old guy in the room. This social media gives a false narrative of what people think love and relationships should be, to where it's not realistic. I think that for certain people, when you meet somebody, like, you have to, like, what everything that you thought that you wanted really don't matter if you just vibe and connect with somebody. If, like, the physical parts, the height, the looks, all of that don't matter. It's about, do y'all have great communication? Does this person make you feel calm? Do you feel happy? Do you got butterflies when you with this person? Does this person make you change your way for the better? Like, those are the things that's important, in a relationship. And a lot of times people love to just think like, oh, because such and such, somebody that I look up to got a 6'5" husband or 6'5" girlfriend, I need to go get that. Like, everybody's different. So you need to just find out what makes you smile.
I thought you just said that you were a killer, and now you're being in here all softy on
us. I know, right?
This is what happens when you meet Laurencia Powell. See, I was a killer until I met my wife. My wife has done an incredible job. I was cold-hearted. She's warmed it up just a tad bit. Not all the way, just a tad bit.
So you wouldn't have put the filter on. I get it. That's the most important thing. You don't know who you're shutting out because of 1 inch. What did they do? You set it for 5'10". Maybe they're 5'9", and all of a sudden, that's not how it goes. Quickly, let's get it, Bodie. The buzzer. That's got to be our story to wrap things up here.
shove it down your throat.
It's time for the buzzer.
Sponsored by Getchy's Amish Country Furnishings in Dublin. AmishCountryFurnishings.com.
I mean, I think it's got to be it, Tyvis, to wrap it up. Like, they can put that filter on the dating thing about the height. I would implore people, don't even fill it out. Don't even look at it. They could add it. They're testing with it. Don't even bother about it. Don't even set it, and just see where things can take you. You never know, right?
I think that is the best advice that you could give somebody is don't filter it. Just if you like somebody and you see and you're interested in them, swipe right or left, whatever side it is. I don't remember either. Yeah. Swipe that way, have a conversation, and see where life takes you.
That's it. That's all you got to do. You can set it. It's a wide thing. And by the way, I should mention, too, that they are testing this. They haven't added it yet, but I think they want to kind of let it get out there, see how some people react to it, see if they like it, and then frankly, a lot of this time, too, is put it out there to see if they catch a bunch of flack, right? Like, there are a lot of people that say, hey, this isn't a good idea, or we don't like it. Then go ahead and get done with it. All right, really appreciate everybody joining us this morning. We're done. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be in for T-Bone all week. Tyvis, great show, man. Always love working with you. Bodie, appreciate you as well. And we'll be back 6 a.m. tomorrow. So we'll talk to you then. Bishop and Friends coming your way next right here on 97.1 The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good Monday morning. No major accidents or delays to report for your Monday commutes, but we are noticing a little bit of congestion, especially if you're making your way into the metro this morning. Over in the Powell-Worthington area, the 270 outer belt looking a little bit delayed this morning. Nothing too concerning, though. Over to the downtown area, if you're going through taking 70, we are noticing a little backups this morning as well. And over in Gahanna, the 270-670 split looking pretty good for your Monday morning. We'll take that. I'm 10 TV's Breen Albizu with your fan traffic.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One of my favorite things, Wilson, is the look on people's faces when they see the end price for Pella windows.
Yeah, I'm always hearing, does it look like I'm wearing my money britches?
More like, I can't believe we get the Pella look and quality at these prices.
Oh, you went the other way with that. You're hearing good things. Oh, this is awkward.
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company for your next vehicle. This is Justin Hinderer. Every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty, award-winning service, and our exclusive Carvenience. We pick up your vehicle, service it, and return it so you save time and enjoy peace of mind. That's Carvenience. At Hinderer Motor Company, we take care of everything so you can drive worry-free. See why we're the best choice for your next new or used car by visiting HindererMotorCompany.com.
Nashville's hottest band, Old Dominion, is coming to Great American Ballpark on July 10th as part of the Ohio Lottery post-game concert series. After the Reds take on the Marlins, all fans in attendance are invited to stay and enjoy a set from Old Dominion. Plus, you can upgrade your ticket to a pit field pass for an up-close view of the show. For tickets and more information, visit reds.com/concerts.
Now is the time to get your body right. Stop going through life dealing with pain. Remember the good days where you were able to play sports with your friends? Now you're losing to your kids in activity. It's time to take the crown back. Hey, it's Tyvis Powell for QC Kinetics. They are different. These are not quick fixes. This is a revolutionary treatment that works to give your body long-term relief. You'll meet face-to-face with Dr. Aaron Wilkoff and the QC Kinetics medical team. They'll teach you how their regenerative treatment takes your body's own healing power and helps heal and restore your damaged tissue. These are well-respected protocols that include potent and powerful cellular level treatments. QC Kinetics has helped myself and tens of thousands of people right here in the Columbus area. They'll get to the root of your pain and fix it. You will be showing your kids who's boss, just like old times. Find out if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Colin Man here. Get 50% off your windows plus no interest and no payments for 12 months and a free entry door with purchase. Restrictions apply. Give them a call, 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. so Windows Direct.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Brought to you by the Capital One Saver Card. With Saver, you earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, and at grocery stores. That's unlimited cash back on ordering takeout from home or unlimited cash back on tickets to concerts and games. So grab a bite, grab a seat, and earn unlimited 3% cash back with the Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.